If you happen to become the president, how are you going to use your power as the guidance of the constitution to unify all the Edusans as one?
Yeah, of course.
In 1 minute.
Edusans don't even have problem. In fact, the politicians don't have problem. It's just few disgruntled people who have the problem. Because of, I always take myself as a typical example. Despite saying being a politician, I always tell them I'm just a leader, not even a politician. But I vibe with everybody, irrespective of the political career. Even sometimes some people will even insult me online, caricatures, certain kind of stuff. When I see them, my brother Bia is here. I believe he's a witness for that. So, like, I talk with them. I even love with them. I even help them to see that because of what I always see that Edusa face. At the end of the day, we are all representing Edusa, and this is the reason. And I believe that as leaders, the moment, one of the reasons why we are having all this problem, because of any leader who doesn't want to be criticized, of course you are not a leader. You must be criticized. You must be criticized, and that's the only way in which you can able to unify Edusans. As I always give a reference, the time of the Musa-led council, and also the time of the Alassane-led council. These were all leaders who were criticized, but at the end of the day, they were able to unify Edusans. So as a leader, I will make sure that this is something which I will prioritize, to make sure that Edusa is something which I will see first. As I always say, Edusa first, Edusa first, Edusa first. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable. Now, if you happen to become the next president of the 16th Executive Council, and there's a rumor and a lot of things that is going on in our political bantaba and in the campus, that the Edusans are good, but the problem is the politician. Now, how can you use your power as the president and the custodians of the constitution to unite Edusans?
Okay, thank you very much. I will not regard this one as a rumor, because these are things that people talk about plainly, even within the School of Education. During this campaign, I met with a female student at the School of Environment and Agriculture and Environment, and this is the same thing that the students repeated. They said, we learned that Edusa has the dirtiest politics. Edusa use all kind of words to each other. Well, I told him, well, that is the belief of outsiders, but with reality that those are individuals who are using serial account and then criticizing and then try to tarnish the image of others. But now if I become a president, of course, which he couldn't achieve with all this bogus thing that he's talking about here, he is just talking, but he has been given that opportunity on several occasions. He couldn't register that achievement. As somebody who was working with the 13 and the 14 and the 15 Executive Council, you couldn't achieve nothing if not to copy and paste individual achievements and then tagging it as yours, which he has been doing here since we started this debate. But if I become as a president, the first thing is to enforce unity among individuals.
Thank you.
Because that is the only way that we can clear all these political intolerance. And that's why in my policy, number one, I said to promote political tolerance, to mitigate political violence among Edusans. We need to sanitize the school. We need to revitalize. We need to sell the good image of Edusa.
Thank you.
We cannot just continue flowing that way. And then to end that, we must vote out such individual like him, who is the pioneer of all problems.
Thank you.
Evidence has said it out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can hold my next questions.
All right.
I'll give you at least 3 minutes, both of you, if you have any rebuttals, because that was a time where I told you that I'm going to give you that time. And then from there, I will also give you another opportunity to ask each other. But this time around, is rebuttal.
Thank you,
Prof. Each other eyes and correct each other right here.
Thank you, Prof. And I believe my fellow Edusan, my brother here, who is Bara Jallo, is someone who unfortunately has less clue as far as the Edusa 2022 Constitution is concerned. Because I listened to him very keenly, where he did mention that I was given an opportunity to serve in the 14, 15 as a council member, but after was a little knowledge dangerous. But he doesn't understand the constitutional mandate, irrespective of the position I was holding. That is the Deputy Secretary General and also the Vice Presidency. These are positions whose power are very limited. For instance, in this current council, we have Alassane Njai and also Mamadou Salou Jallo, who happen to be the president and also the Secretary General respectively. These individuals, whatever they are deciding, sometimes they don't even involve me. Because I will refer back you to the Edison Constitution. Go and read the Constitution as an aspiring president of Edison. If you don't read the Constitution, of course, you will perish, and you have already perished. Go to the Constitution. Go and look into any clauses as far as Section 14 of the Edison Constitution is concerned, where I serve as the vice president. Go and look into my function. The first 3 months we assume office, because with the code of conduct we agreed that no individual, no council member should even be affiliated in any political discourse. The first 3 months everything was okay. We were going fine to an extent that I am the president and we are always in touch. But unfortunately, this politics thing started intruding into the council. The very first person who even abused the code of conduct was the president. He once even stated an SSC dispatch in his status. I went into his day, Mr. President, you have already violated the code of conduct. You know what he responded? I didn't even read this, I just see it like that and forward to my status. You know that something fundamental is wrong. As a vice president, my powers are limited. I went back to the pages and put that into their notice. The SG didn't act. The Auditor General didn't act. Everything slid like that. We go back again. He's talking about the division which SECA is part of. But little did he know that SECA has a limited power as far as these divisions are concerned. I was the one who was championing the Congress. If you see, if my fellow Edison, for a Congress to be held, the executive must act, and it has to go through the office of the president and also the vice president. The office of the secretary general. When I send my message into the group, dear Secretary General, and I CC the President and I CC the Auditor General, because these are the bodies responsible for it. When I wrote my message, it was almost like 3 paragraphs. Let me know, despite wasting my energy in that paragraph, you know what the AG responded to me? Seka Amudu Jalba Kuyate. If you want to go and organize Congress, go and organize a Congress. My fellow Edison, what can I do in that? If I want to argue that, they will say Seka is going against the Constitution. And the Constitution has already given me not to even act. I get the point. Because I can only act when the president is absent or when the president gives me that mandate. And unfortunately, the president and the SG plus the Auditor General were all working hard in Gulf to see how best they can able to suppress. And this was the reason why this election is supposed to be held since last year's November. Right now, today is April. Today is March. What? What is the date today? We're in the ending of March, but still now we are still talking about this election. So if he's here talking about the cause of the division, then of course you should even vote Barra out, because this person doesn't deserve to even become a class rep in University of Uganda of the whole president.
Thank you. Now it's your time for rebuttal.
All right, thank you very much.
3 minutes 47 seconds.
All right,
and I will give you opportunity also to ask further. So this is the time that you can clear whatever you want to clear.
Okay, thank you very much. And an IPRO, I am definitely much embarrassed that this individual here, who is called Ibrahim Seka, is talking about, the Englishman says, give a fool a long rope to hang himself. This man is just a fool. He don't understand the Constitution. If you come to the reading of the Constitution, I read Constitution more than you. I started interacting with these constitutions when probably you don't even know what is the meaning of the Constitution. From studying from SU Constitution right down to Edusa Constitution, there is no section or paragraph that I did not read because I interacted with this. You understand? When it comes to the limitation of power, yes, I understood that for every responsible, for every position, there is a limitation. And I made that statement earlier on, that you cannot go beyond your limitation. But it's also a fundamental responsibility upon him as a vice president. A vice president position being one of the most crucial positions as far as the council is concerned, because you are the one who is responsible of running the internal affairs of the school. So if you are standing here, sitting down here today and telling us about unity, and that's why whenever I heard you talking of unity, I thought this individual don't even understand what he's doing, because he is obviously exposing himself to the education that I have done nothing during my time. Because if I have done something by today, then we will not talk about unity. We will talk about something else. Something else should have been a benchmark of his campaign policy, but not unity. Someone else should talk about unity. But if you see as the president, that's why you don't understand his role. The president has the responsibility to run external affairs. the vice president has the fundamental constitution of the internal affairs of the association, and which he has failed. This second sitting down here, he went on a geography tour, left that geography tour, and then went and attended a burial somewhere, and then came down and then went to enforce the IPRO to write that he went and represented the association. You see, when he will have to laugh because he's guilty of anything that I said. Whenever I talk about something that he's guilty, he laugh, because this is how fools behave. You understand? So I understand the constitution more than you. But whatever I talked about here, that's why for anything that I talked about, for records, and Edusans are listening, and Edusans, for anything that we said here, Edusans understood it more than us, because these are individuals who have been observing us and then assessing us on various areas. You understand? Being here and then being given a fake and abstract issues that are not even realistic, that are unfound, and then try to copy and paste or criticize in the council. A council that you are part of, you are criticizing the council and saying that the council have this, Alison have this, the secretary have this and that. It's all just bogus. Because you then it means that it's like you ought not to be even call yourself as the vice president. If you cannot do nothing, you cannot just bang on the constitution and say that yes, I don't do this because the constitution limit me. I don't do this because I was limited. I supposed to do this because no, you cannot do that. You have code of conduct in the council. You have your responsibility. You are voted. If these people want to limit you and you believe in this is an interest of the Education, then these people will not stop you. Because Alassane Guy and the Secretary General are not the people who voted you in power. The people who voted you in power are the Education. And the Educans are bigger and more powerful and more important as far as Education conduct. They are more important Alassane Guy as the President and then the Secretary General. Those two people should not stop you if you believe in that you are serving the interests of Education.
Thank you.
But it is unfortunate that you want to bang on that to say that it's a constitutional limitation. Alassane Guy said it, SG said it. That is purpose.
Thank you.
It means you don't even understand the constitution.
Thank you so much.
You are just making noise here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ask your second question. I don't want you to come and summarize, both of you.
Yeah.
Ask questions, specific question, let the person answer. Right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And as far as Education is concerned, there's one thing that is very fundamental, and that is an academic honesty. This man sitting down here called himself Ibrahim Sega. Records has revealed that Ibrahim used examination question and whole tutorial classes, which is called an academic indiscipline and academic dishonesty. And then he is tarnishing seriously the image of Edusa, because these are things that are up to at the faculty level. I am not for records for anything that I'm saying here. These are things that are backed by evidence. And of course, even if you make a walk inside School of Education and make an interview with some students, they will tell you straight away that this is happening and this was happening, because these are records that people have with them. So these are the same ones here who want to continue to ruin the School of Education. Ibrahim Seka, I have a question for you regarding this examination malpractice that, of course, is not within the closed door. It's a public knowledge. What is influencing you to be doing such examination malpractice that is tarnishing the image of Edusa?
Thank you. Honorable, you have to answer this question.
Thank you, Prof. And it's just unfortunate that, as I said, as there was a little knowledge is dangerous, more especially when you are misinformed. And the Bara Jallo sitting here, as I said, he has been a remote control. This man sitting here has been pinpointed by individuals. This man sitting here has little knowledge regarding about whatever is going on. As I always say, I've been known as a seasoned tutor as far as the School of Education is concerned. I've been known as one of the only tutor who can only tutor one course, and the class will be filled to it being to an extent that I will have to organize another class. And these were the reasons why most of more especially the like of Bara, we are very uncomfortable with because of what their political influence. Because for them, they believe that whatever Seka is doing, people always answer the call. And whatever tutorial Seka is doing, people will always come on board and attend. And these are things, because of their political lenses, these are things we cover everything. At the end of the day, they are not only seeing the interests which are really for the interest of Edison, but the interest of my own personal. This is something which I believe is a misconception. Again, whoever knows Seka, you know that Seka, whatever Seka is going into, Seka prepared for it. Whatever Seka is doing, Seka always try to make sure that he gives his 100%. If you see my tutorial being so succinct to an extent that people will be celebrating at the end of the day, people will be texting me, praying for me, to an extent that others will even call me for 30 minutes, see a lot of things, praying for me, even the elderly person, is because of I believe that whatever services which I am rendering to my fellow Edison has to be a service which has to be genuine, has to be a service which has to be, I should have sacrificed. But unfortunately, here I have been mentioned that Seka being someone who was leaking in the exam. I mean, this is very serious. If I happen to go outside here and call the police for Bara Jallo, my friend, my brother, you will not sleep in your room in a very comfortable way. Because this is a serious allegation which I believe people like, but unfortunately, you have little knowledge with regard to what you are doing. Bara as, let me have the mic. Second kind of thing like Bara is not about how fluent you can speak English, it's about how sensible, how rational, how reasonable you can become as a leader.
Thank you.
And basically, we are doing all this allegation. Imagine electing this person as your president, my fellow Edison.
Thank you.
Of course, this will be worst decision you will ever make in your entire university life. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to ask question, and then you can use that one to answer whatever you want to say. So now it's your time to ask.
Yeah. So thank you, Prof. Yeah. Last year the same. He called me a fool, which I accept because of I'm a leader. I'm not someone who will defend in media or whatsoever, but I always accept. The same Bara, last year he contested under an independent banner. The same Bara, one of his campaign speeches, the only thing he will be talking about, campaigning is something which is leading to the division of Edusa. And I was very surprised when I realized that Bara Jallo is the same Bara Jallo sitting here, who is currently vying for the same position, but again this time, not as an independent candidate, but under the banner of Student Service Council in acronym SSC. You realize that there's a dishonesty, there's an inconsistency, and as the one will say, Mawo Horwet. And this is what Bara is doing. So I want Bara Jallo to clarify what is the reason why he has to be so inconsistent to the extent that what he was preaching last year is something which has not been resonating in himself. And we believe that as leaders, we have to be some people, we have the people who must be consistent in our word. So Bara Jallo, in your honest view, I know that no matter how you fit it further, you always try to have what you are going to lie here. But tell the Edison, face the Edison, and tell them why then, but now. Thank you.
In 2 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Before moving to the question, I want to bounce back on what he said. What he said, an allegation. Maybe you don't understand allegations and then something that is on a plain paper record. You made mention that yes, if you go out there and then you inform the police, then I will not sleep well in my house. I for records, well, all Edusans are listening, and all Edusans know exactly what is happening. For records, if you want, we can move up to the Vice Chancellor office and make this investigation. Both you and the lecturer involved will face an academic punishment. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not an allegation. I am not here to put an allegation on you. For me, anything that I'm going to put here is things that are backed by records. Things are backed by evidence. I am not here to put an allegation on you, but to talk about the factual thing. And besides, you keep saying that I have been used by, nobody is using me. I am an individual who is free and independent to run. Listen to me. No, listen to me. Run independently and speak maturely. I crafted my policies. And for whatever I said here is things that are backed by records.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
If you want, we can launch an investigation. Right now, there's a lecturer that we are involved with, which is now not part of even the examination board as a result of that examination malpractice.
Okay.
These are records. And if you want, we can go up to the vice chancellor and you will be punished. Perhaps you will not only be suspended, you will be expelled from the
Can you
university.
answer the question?
You understand? All right. Now, the question that he's talking about, I am very consistent when it comes to my political philosophy. My political philosophy is unity, inclusiveness, peace, and progress, and that's what SSC called for. So, for anybody who believes in my political philosophy, can work with me, and SSC have been that political camp that is work with my political philosophy. I am not. Listen to me. I am not an individual who will be here today and there tomorrow. You understand? I believe in my political philosophy. When they first approached me for it, I made it clear for records.
Thank you.
No, excuse me, for records. Let me just clear this point here for records.
Okay.
When they first faced me, and then I told them, I made that very clear to them. My political philosophy remained. It is. Because of a camp or because of a group of people coming together will not make me change my political philosophy. Because as far as my observation, as far as my assessment is concerned, under the School of Education, I realized that there are so many disunity and political intolerance. And even during my campaign, I keep singing the same thing. That is my political philosophy.
Thank you.
And that happens to be the same political philosophy.
Thank you.
That's SSC has.
Good afternoon to our viewers across the Gambia and the students joining us from the University of the Gambia. We are at Fine TV studio in Farato. I am your moderator, Sheikh Omar Fati. We are bringing you the policy debate of EDUSA 2026 election. We are at the most anticipated point in time of the political debate, where everybody is talking about and everybody is waiting to hear from the candidates that are vying for the highest position in the student leadership at the School of Education, University of the Gambia. So today we are going to make sure we test their competence, their integrity, their past records and leadership experience. We are not going to leave no stone unturned, and we will take questions from the educants. We will give them all what it takes to know and to test who is going to be their next president under the 16th Executive Council. They say the council is as good as the leader. If the leader is good, then we're going to have a better council. But even all the ministers with their good policies and program, if you don't have a head that is good, they will not be able to function as they expected. So today we are going to make sure we test these people to their limits. We will ask them, and most importantly, we will test their patience, and we will see whether they will be able to unify the educants. And today is not just about policies and programs. Today is about leadership, their philosophy, and how they can bring development and progress, and also to bring back the glory that the EDUSA is known for. So in the building, we have the two aspiring candidates that are vying for the highest position in EDUSA leadership. So they are now in the building. I would like to thank them for respecting the time. And EDUSANs, the presidents that are vying for the position, they are all here on time. And that is a good sign that any one of them that we give them the opportunity, they will respect time. They don't are here as a Gambian time, but they are here to respect all the EDUSANs and to move the council forward. So we have the two candidates that are from two different camps. We have come on my right hand side from the Student Service Council, that is SSC, and we have a candidate that is my left hand side from Team Renaissance. So we will give them the opportunity to introduce themselves and we start the debate rolling. So I'll start with the candidate on my right hand side, Honorable, or shall I say His Excellency. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable IPRO. It's a pleasure to be here today at Fine TV. By the way, greeting to the entire students at the University of the Gambia, and also greeting to the entire students under the School of Education. Before you here today is Bara Jallo, a presidential candidate. It is a pleasure to be here today. My name is Bara Jallo, a student at the University of the Gambia, and a fourth-year student majoring in geography and minoring in environmental sciences. Thank you very much, Mr. IPR.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. So now, candidate on my right, left-hand side, I will give you the opportunity. Honorable, or should I say, His Excellency, can you introduce yourself to the educers?
Yeah, thank you, Sir Umar Fatih, for hosting us, and also I must acknowledge Fine TV for opening this page for us. I'm Ibrahim H. Seka, the presidential candidate for Team Renaissance for this upcoming election. That's the EDUSA election, which is on the 31st of March, which will fall on Tuesday. So we are here today to talk about to talk to our fellow elections regarding about our policies, regarding about the program we have for our fellow election to make EDUSA a better place, an association which will become the most viable association as far as the University of the Gambia is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We heard from the two aspirant candidates that are vying for the highest position in our Student Leadership Council. So before we proceed, I would like to read the rules so that everybody can hear, and the candidates, I would like you to adhere to the rules. So this is the way we are going to do it. We are going to ask the same question to both candidates, and also we will give them time. For example, when we say 2 minutes, make sure that you respect that 2 minutes. At the end of the program, there will be a rebuttals. If they have anything to say against each other, I will give them to clear the air. So this is how we are going to roll the program. So please, let's also respect the time. Otherwise, if your times elapse, I will take the mic from you. So the viewers, you are watching the presidential debate, and the election is going to held 31st March 2026. So these two people are the one vying for the position of the presidency at EDUSA. So now, Honorable Jallo, you can tell us your educational background. The EDUSANs want to know who their aspirant candidate for the presidency knowledge is about.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. IPRO. Like I said before you is Bara Jallo, an aspiring candidate from the most vibrant camp, that is Team SSC. It is significant for you to understand or to know a little bit of these individuals' educational background. So that being the case, I take this opportunity to tell you that I, Bara Jallo, started education from the grassroots, that is from the lower basic at Mishra Jarawes, where I did my primary school from grade 1 to grade 6. From there, I proceeded to Japine around 2009, where I did my junior secondary education from grade 7 to grade 9. Now, after completing my junior secondary education at Jara Japine, I proceeded to Amite Senior Secondary School, where I did my senior level, commencing from grade 10 to grade 12. From Amite Senior Secondary School, I proceeded to the Gambia College, where I did PTC, Primary Teaching Certificates, and that is around from 2012 right down to 2015. After completing, I was posted to serve the Gambia to teach children to help in developing their careers. From there, after teaching for 2 years, I returned back to the Gambia College to pursue my advanced diploma in education, commencing from 2017 to 2019. Afterwards, I was also posted back again to the system to serve. I served for 2 years and came back again to the University of the Gambia, where I started my education, my bachelor degree at the University of the Gambia from 2022 up to the current year we are. And this is just my educational background from primary school touches down to the University of the Gambia. And currently I am majoring in geography and then minoring in environmental sciences at the University of the Gambia under the School of Education. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you, Honorable, for that breakdown. And now to Honorable Seka, you can give your educational background, because the position that you are vying for is the highest position, and the educans want to know your educational background?
Yeah, thank you, Sheikh Omar. My education background began in Bundung LBS, where I did my primary school to grade 6, and later on I proceeded to Charles Memorial Academy, which is also at Bundung. From there to I took a break of 3 good years before I proceed my senior secondary school. And later on, I went into the Yunus English School, where I spent for 3 years, where I had the opportunity to serve them as the assistant head boy. And from there to I went to the Gambia College School of Education, where I was pursuing my advanced diploma secondary in education, specializing in social and environmental studies, and also arts as a major. From there, I was later posted to the provinces as a qualified and also a confirmed teacher at Chisimajo Basic Cycle School, where I was able to did a lot of cities of impact in that particular school and also the cluster. And from there, I was opportune to be awarded scholarship both MRC Holland and also Mohas. But later on, I have to choose one scholarship, and which was Mohas, and later came to the university, where I am currently specializing in geography and also minoring environment. And currently, I'm in my 400 level as a student of the University of the Gambia under the School of Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. And then the educants that are watching now, I can tell you for free, our next president is going to be a geography major. There is no doubt about that. So one of them is going to be our president under the 16th Executive Council, and they are majoring geography. So I don't know, next candidates is going, next 17th executive is going to be history or computer science major or minor. So now, Honorable Jallo, educants want to know your track records from the beginning all the way right today.
Okay, thank you very much again for coming back. Here now I speak on my track record, and that talks about my leadership experience. And it is very important to understand that leadership is something that is very important, and then individuals who is pursuing to become a leaders should be backed by experience and not to go and seek experience. And I, Bara, has the mega experience in the side of leadership. I started leaderships from the grassroots, meaning from the primary school, where I served as a school counselor. That is at my own home village at Misira, Jara West District. From there, I proceeded to Japine, where I did my basic secondary education from grade 7 to grade 9. And during my time at Japine, also I served as a senior counselor and also served as the president of the PRL Association. And serving these two roles in the same school gave me that mega experience in the side of leadership. From there, I proceeded to Amite Senior Secondary School, where I also, of course, as somebody who is vast in leadership, whenever you step in an environment, the first thing that the people will request from you is to continue the experience and the services that you were giving to individuals. There also at Amite Senior Secondary School, I served as the deputy head boy, known as SAFO at Amite. For anybody who passes through Amite, you will understand that that name. The head boys are called SAFOs, and I serve as the assistant head boy, or otherwise called the assistant SAFO. And also the same time also serve as the president of the LRR Amite student, because at Amite we have that association, LRR association, meaning that association helps students from LRR at Amite Senior Secondary Education Secondary School to help them in way they can get back to their parents whenever school closes. So we have that association there. So I was the president of the LRR Amite Student Association. I served in that position for 1 year, after which I handed over to the next batch. From there, I proceeded to the Gambia College, where I also, of course, like I said, a leader, wherever you go, you will always, your interest is to deliver services to the people. At the Gambia College, I also serve as the Minister of Culture and Agriculture. At the same time, also serve as the Speaker of the Executive. That was around 2014. serve as the Speaker of the Executive Council, and then also serve as the Minister of Culture and Agriculture. Moving forward, back to the Gambia College again, that was my PTC during my PTC time. From there, again, my second phase at the Gambia College, that is the Advanced Diploma in Secondary Education, where I also majored in mathematics and science. During my time at the Gambia College, the same things also. I serve as the chairpersons of the Ministry of Education under the current member MP of Fonyi, Bakari Baji, who was serving as the minister. Then I served as the chairperson of the Ministry of Education at the Gambia College. From there, after the Gambia College, proceeded to the university. Before getting to that point, I also have been serving as a senior teacher in the school and also serving as a deputy. And that also has given me that opportunity to have that administrative experience. Serving as a deputy or serving as a vice in a school created that room for me to have that experience, not only in students' leadership, but also experience on how to, carry out administrative work. From there, I proceeded to the University of the Gambia. And my first year at the University of the Gambia, I served as the IPRO of the Geography Student Association. And of course, I can proudly say I myself and Chan and then C, together with our lecturers, were the co-founding father of the association, in which I serve as the IPRO. From there, moving forward, at the same university, in my third year, I serve as the IPRO of one of the most important organ at SU. That is the organ responsible of helping students across the University of the Gambia to carry out a free and fair election in establishing a council that will run their affairs. In that, I serve as the IPRO of the University of the Gambia Student Union Electoral Commission. Until then, I also serve as a coach of my batchmates. Have been serving as a coach and coaching them for any tournament of any football tournament that's been called by the association or by the sport minister. So this has been my roots from the primary school down to junior school, down to senior school, down to Gambia College PDC, down to Gambia College Advanced Diploma, university first year, university second year, and in my university third year, I contest for an election and stand as an independent candidate. And this has a reason, and of course, maybe we're going to dive into this as a reason why I contest as an independent candidate. And from there today, here we are to contest for another election to continue serving the welfare, the interests of students. Now, still at the university, serve since the beginnings of my time at the university. Fourth year, I have been serving the interests, serving the welfares of students, and I still want to continue that service. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful track records. Now we move to Honorable Seka. Seka, you are vying the most highest position in the 16th Executive Council, and the Edisons want to know your track record, starting from the beginning all the way today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof, for that. Talking about my track record, I believe in leadership that impact, and this is who Seka is. But just to give you a glimpse about my track record, starting from the grassroots level to where I am currently. In my primary school, I was a senior prefect. That was the Bundu LBS, that's the lower basic. And also I proceeded to Charles Memorial Academy, where I also mount various class reps within our class, because of whoever knows Charles Joe, you know that Charles Joe is those type of school. The moment they select you as a rep or probably as a leader, obviously something must be in you. There too, I later proceeded to Eunice English School, where in my grade 12, I was also elected to become the assistant head boy of the said school, that is Eunice English School. And also, before even going to the college, within the community level, I serve as the Secretary General of the Youth Movement for Civic Education, which is a movement which was built in order to create what we call civic awareness. And it was a movement which we anchored, a movement which also led to the establishment of what we call civic education as far as the education curriculum within this country is concerned, because this was something which was our priority, and we were able to engage with stakeholders, including the Ministry of Basic and Secondary School and also the National Center for Civic Education. From there too, I also serve in the same association where I serve them as the IPRO, that's the Information Relation Officer, and also before at least handing over my baton, I served them twice. That was the being a Secretary General and also being an IPRO of the same association, that was the Youth Movement for Civic Education. Away from the Youth Movement for Civic Education, I was also the Deputy Country Director of the Young African Network for Global Goal, which is an association, which is a continental association. Because of my leadership, because of my track record, because of my impact, I was later promoted to serve as the country rep of the same association, that is the Young African Network for Global Goal. In acronym, we call it as YOUNG. And whoever knows Young, currently it is they are operating, and it's been led by one Marike Baji, and they have been doing tremendous well. From there to within the because of my leadership is not within the within this country. SECA's leadership is regional and also is continental. I also serve, currently serving as the country director of the PLO Lumumba Foundation Gambia chapter, which was founded by Professor Patrick Lumumba of Kenya, who is the famous lawyer and also a Pan-African who have been inspiring a lot of young Africans, more especially young Africans who have a Afrocentric mindset. But because of that, because of the impact in which I have been doing within the country and also within the continent, I was later given a prize for because of the work I have been doing. I was given a prize, that prize just to honor the impact I have been doing within this country, because under my leadership, that was the time the association was able to register its successes, being legally registered within this country, and also we were able to at least organize series of physical events and also online events, and that was done through my leadership. And away from that, I also serve as the Secretary General of the Association of the Gambian Geographers, an association which my opponent is part of it, because I've been a geographer. Of course, you are a bona fide member of that association. I serve as the Secretary General, and through our coordination, we were able to register that association to become a legal association as far as the Constitution of the Gambia is concerned. And that was done before my tenure was finished in that association as their Secretary General. From there too, when I was at the Gambia College, I also served them as their assistant, as the IPRO of the Gambia College Press Club, which was during our time. This was the press club, which was one of the most vibrant press club as far as the Gambia College is concerned, and that was done through our tenure, where Babawaka F. Jami was the president, and also the aspiring Secretary General of the election in 2026. Tumani Kamara was also part of that particular club. Coming to the University of the Gambia. In the University of the Gambia, since I came, as Prof said, I came on the same day with my opponent sitting here, that is Barajalo. We came together at the University of the Gambia, and through my impact, through my leadership, I was able to be recognized, and I was part of the committee member of the Social and Welfare Ministry of the 13th Executive Council. And from there too, I proceeded, and I became the Deputy Secretary General of the EDISA, that was the 14th Executive Council. And the same association, I am currently serving as the Vice President of the 15th Executive Council. Away from EDISA, still now within the University of the Gambia. I also serve as the IPRO of the Geography Student Association of the University of the Gambia, and also I serve as a committee member of the Technical and Logistic Ministry of the 22nd Executive Council of the University of the Gambia Student Union, and also the 23rd Executive Council of the University of the Gambia Student Union, I am currently serving as a committee member in the education and research, but not only serving but putting impact, where I was also recognized to become the head of the head of tutorial for the senior secondary school, which is one of the most active policy as far the University of the Gambia Student Union is concerned, which is a policy which we were able to meet with the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, which her permanent secretary, that is Pierce Mendy, they were able to at least give us the green light. And as we speak, every Sunday we are organizing free senior secondary school tutorial for all senior secondary school students who are within the combos and also outside the combo, that is around the phone areas, and also a tutorial where I am heading, and a tutorial where we have over 50 volunteers who are teachers and are willing to give and teach students based on the subject area in which they specialize on. So if we want to talk about SECA here, of course, there's some kind of leadership which I even tend to omit, because of I believe that whoever knows SECA knows that SECA is the type of leader. So when I was also serving as a Secretary General and also a Vice President of EDUSA, because I believe in not leadership which will go and hold position, but leadership that will at least give an impact toward the people you are serving. And these were the things I did, and I was able to make sure that through my leadership, I was able to make sure that I brought the first ever printing machine as far as is concerned, which has generated the current council a lot of money. And also through my initiative, which also in Gambia, we were able to at least came up and erect the first ever pole, which was erected in Faraba Banta campus. And also through my visionary leadership, for the first time in the history of UTG, we were able to make sure that we brought a zebra crossing, which is not only benefiting the students of EDUSA, but the University of the Gambia community at large. And away from that, currently I am serving as a parliamentarian for the Busumbala constituency, a youth parliamentarian for the Busumbala constituency, which I am representing thousands of young people within the Busumbala constituency. So when we talk about leadership, of course, SECA is not new as far as leadership is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful track records. We heard from both the presidents and aspirants, and then these people, they have so many things in common. Both of them become the assistant head boy in their various senior secondary school time, and also both of them are geography executive members or former executive members. So now, Honorable Jallo, I will give you 2 minutes to talk to your brother here, that is SECA, because you were able to convince the Student Service Council and they bring you as the presidential candidate that is going to contest to become the president if you are elected by the EDUSA under the 16th Executive Council. But there's only one obstacle between you and that position. So I will give you 1 minute to convince your brother here to withdraw so that you can become the next president of the 16th Executive Council. In 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's great to be here once again, and then to also speak to EDUSA, as I believe that they are the very most important individual to be talked to today. And with me here today is somebody who don't even understand the leadership. He just do camera services. But I heard him say, listing orders, I do this, and which is not even important. And I believe, as far as leadership is concerned at EDUSA, I am the most competent individual, for the fact that I am individual who is honest, reliable, and trustworthy. And I believe in the fundamentals of equal right and justice among individuals. And I believe in the fundamentals of empowering people, and not just people empowering me. I believe in the spirit of creating more leaders than more followers, but not to be coming and all the times and appearing before the camera, seeking for camera service and not seeking to serve the interests of innocent. So on that note, I want to let him know and understand that as far as this position is concerned, as far as this election is concerned, I am the most competent individual.
Thank you.
He was given the chance and he couldn't prove it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable SECA, you are able to convince Team Renaissance until they bring you as the presidential candidate that are vying for the position under the 16th Executive Council. Now, there is only one person that is between you and that position. That is your brother right here. So I'll give you 1 minute, 10 seconds for you to convince your brother to withdraw so that you can become the next?
Yeah, thank you, Prof. And I believe that the cameras can only be on your face when you are doing impacts. But the moment the cameras they are not on your face, obviously you should ask yourself some fundamental question: why me? But anyway, as whoever knows Seka knows that Seka's availability, knows Seka's humility, knows Seka's leadership, knows Seka is there for everybody, including my opponent here sitting with me. The reason why my brother, Bara and I, we came into the university on the same year, the same month, we started the same courses, and I could recall the first class we here was psychology of education with Dr. Fatima. And from there, the fundamental question is why Seka's image is always in front line than Bara. Because about one thing about us, Edison, in this election, and it's an election which is a turning point for us. We don't need leaders who will only show up when it's time for election. We don't need leaders who will come and kill you with war at the end of the day. Because about the people you choose in the office, at the end of the day, will decide your future. And here, the person sitting with me here, this person has no time for himself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. These two people, I know them like my fingertips. So we both started university the same day, the same time, the same course. So I know them better than anyone at the University of the Gambia, and then I will give them the right questions, and so that the Edison can know who among them they're going to choose to become the next president of the 16th Executive Council. Honorable, this question, I want it to be only about University of the Gambia, no outside University of the Gambia, because it's the Edusans that are going to vote for you. What have you done for Edusans since the first day you and I start lectures together up to today? What have you done for the Edusans before vying for this position?
Okay, thank you very much. To start with,
in 2 minutes.
Okay, to start with, as a fresher in the University of the Gambia and as a member of an established association, is to understand the call for the association. And the call for the association is that every member of the association is expected to pay its union due. Every member of the association is expected to be present when the association calls. What the service I have offered for Edusant, one is to serve as a class rep. And my first, after serving as a class rep in numerous classes that I have done, or numerous courses that I have done under School of Education that are departmental, help students to carry out their academic process between them and the lecturer. For any challenges that they have in terms of registering, in terms of also understanding at what time is the lecture is to start, and then also they want to get the information from the lecturer, I help them. Now moving forward, I serve as a coach, of course, of which he is. I coach him. I coach him in the football field, and I directed him on what to do. Even though he's not a good footballer, he's overweight. I coach him, and then that's a pretty great thing. And when the sport minister called on a tournament, I appeared. When we don't have a coach, when we reach at the football field, nobody is willing to take up the responsibility. I tell them, look, I can be at that I can take up the responsibility. Then I serve as a coach, and we played a tournament, and then thank God we did well. We did great with my people, and also I also serve Education in helping them to carry out a very free and fair election. When I was serving as the IPRO at the University of the Gambia Student Union Electoral Commission, I scaled down to help Edusans carry out a free and fair election.
Thank you.
Which is very fundamental as far as this association is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable Seka, I want these questions to be answered only based on the University of the Gambia, especially School of Education. What have you done for the Edusant before vying for this position? In 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Just to wrap it up, what I have did for Edison is something which is uncountable. There are others which are hidden, but there are others which are there for people to see. As we speak, as I said in my previous deliberation, the first ever printing machine, which cost me over $20,000, a brand new machine, printing machine, I, Ibrahim Cheka, through my connection, through my partnership, I was able to lobby for that printing machine, which is currently serving Edison, the university community, and also the executive party. Away from that, when I came to University of the Gambia with my brother, we look at the environment. We see that Faraba should be green. Faraba should at least be environmental friendly. We started trying to look for phone. We started trying to look for alternative, and we were able to lobby for phone. And I could record this was even during the day Ramadan. We will close for lectures and go to Senegambia, buy trees, and take them to Westfield in the early in the morning. We will have to rush there, talk to the drivers to bring this thing, and we were doing all this thing through monies from our pocket. And we were able to green the School of Education, the School of Arts and Science, and the School of ICT. Because I believe that my leadership should not only be centered on EDUSA. And again from that, for the first ever flagpole which was erected in the University of the Gambia, and which EDUSA was fortunate to have, this was done under my leadership, where I was able to make sure that the flag of the Gambia and also that of EDUSA was able to be erected, and this is as a way of trying to promote what we call patriotism. And away from that, the Ibrahim Sector you are seeing here have given EDUSA's more especially when it comes to these the trees, the banana trees you are seeing in the School of Education, these were all under my leadership. And when we went to the nationwide tour, I promised Edison that we will make sure that at least this is a nationwide tour which were different. And we were able to donate ornamental trees to the Farafanya Senior Secondary School, which is currently benefiting them. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Honorable, we are coming to the most important part of this program. Honorable Jallo, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk to the Edison and tell them your policies and programs, and this will give you the opportunity to convince them so that you can become the next president of the 16th Executive Council. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, say your policies, your programs, and what you have for Edison's in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again, Honorable IPRO, and back on stage again. And now talking about one of the most important things as far as our today present here is concerned, and as far as election at the University of the Gambia on the School of Education is concerned today. The most interesting point is about policies, because this is the language that the Edison need to hear. This is the language that Edison want to hear. If I become the president, I have 5 policies that are attainable, smart, and then realistic. One of the policies is to foster unity among Edusans and political tolerance. This has to mitigate the political violence that is at Edusha. The second policy is to create more partnership between the association and outside organizations, institutions, and governmental institutions, private and NGOs, because I believe no association can be an island. It has to create partners to work with, and through those partners you can create opportunities for members of your association. The next point is the next policy, that is the third policy, is to move the agenda for the Faculty of Education to start recruiting its best graduating student. Because I believe that one of the key responsibilities, that is the aim and objective of the association, is to create job for its graduating student. So I deem it necessary that it is high time that once use the Faculty of Education to start thinking this direction. Now let us start recruiting our best graduating student for every subject, so that this individual can now come and then serve as lecturers or graduate assistant and help in the university to attain its aims and objective that is meant to create that individual that are very much instrumental when it comes to the development of this country. Now, the fourth policy is accountability and transparency, which I believe in every association should call for this very important policy. You need to be very much transparent, and you need to be very much accountable, or you accept accountability. The fourth policy is problem solving. For every leader who fails in that area, you can count yourself as a good leader. For every leader, one of your responsibility is to have the skills to be able to solve problems. How to solve problems, understand the problems, and then get to the root of the problems and then solve it, and solve it amicably. And that's why I come up with this policy, having an experience on how to address issues like that. And the other policy is the constitutional. Of course, I do say all these ones are constitutional, and that is to oversee the function of all executive members. But out of all these things, one of them which I call as one of the most significant one, or the one that stand out, is the first unity among educants. Right now, the entire universities, all the schools are talking about education on the same thing. And of course, this man sitting down here, Ibrahim Seka, is one of those individuals who is creating more problems than solution. So for me, if I come as a president, it's to foster unity among educants, foster political tolerance, to mitigate political violence between educants or among educants. As like I said, the other one is partnership, because I believe now School of Education is not only admitting teachers, it has started to admit students who are fresh from the senior secondary school. And like I said, one of the aim and objective of the association is to create job opportunity for its members. So that be the case. If I come as the president, I'm going to create that partnership between the associations and NGOs and other government institutions. And through this, we can create an MOU. We can sign an MOU where we can send our students for intensive. And through this intensive, they can acquire a job. And then if they acquire a job, then we have registered one of the aims of the association. That is to create job for its members or for its graduating students. The other one is to move the agenda to the Faculty of Education, for them to start recruiting the best graduating students. I remember last academic year, we awarded many students best graduate in English, maths, science, English, maths, history, geography, chemistry. But if I look around, I don't see them today. And these are individuals that should be called back and serve EDUSA and serve the School of Education. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if you want to hear more about his policies and program, you can come the day of the convention, and then EC is going to give them ample time to deliver their policies and program. Now to Honorable Seka, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk to EDUSANs, and this will be your opportunity to convince them and say your policies and program in order for them to vote for you to become the next president on the 16th Executive Council. So you have 5 minutes to share your policies and program with EDUSANs.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Omar, and I believe this is the most important part as far this debate is concerned, because of, as we know, policies has to be realistic. And the only way in which a policy can be realistic by choosing a pragmatic leader, a leader who is available, a leader who is ready to sacrifice for the betterment of the entire community. And that is EDUSA here we are talking about. One of the policy, which is, I believe, the most fundamental policy, is about the unification of EDUSA. For far too long, in this previous month, we have been seeing a lot which has been happening within the School of Education, to an extent that students from BPA, students from Arts and Science, students from School of Environment, the moment you talk about EDUSA, the one thing they will always tell you that EDUSA is a school full of problems. And what brings that problem is because of the leadership. So we believe that any organization or an institution, if the organization is not united, it will be very difficult to bring what we call development. In as much as you have programs, in as much as you have policies, good policies, if there is no unity, there will be no cohesion. And if there is no cohesion, there will be no development. And this is something which I was able to prioritize. And how am I going to do it? The change has to start within ourselves. We must be the change. We must be the reference point. We must be the beacon of hope. For that, we know that we are all here in representing CAM. He's representing CAM SSC, and I am here representing CAM Team Renaissance. But when elected into office, this is something which I am going to park aside, and the only agenda in which I will be seeing EDUSA first, EDUSA first, EDUSA first, rather than CAM affiliation. And this is one of the main reasons which is currently disturbing this current Executive Council, that is the 15th Executive Council. And again, not only that, Seka is someone who has that partnership, that connection. I can able to also talk to people who can able to at least organize seminars, either physical seminars or online seminars. And when you come to the online seminars, I can able to use my influence, my connection to talk to renowned people who are within the continent of Africa and also outside to talk to our fellow Elusan, and this will be in the form of seminar about the importance of peace and all the stuff. These are things which are very, very important. Again, from there, the other fundamental policy is about restoration of what we call the electoral cycle of Elusa. Because we know that traditionally Elusa's elections are supposed to be held since last year in November. But due to the leadership crisis in which Elusa is currently facing, which myself as the vice president, I'm limited to do certain kind of things because of the constitution did not give me that powers to do my thing. So this is the reason the people who the constitution was able to give those powers, they were able to make sure that they manipulate it through using their powers, and this is the reason why we are here. Imagine from November, December, January, February, March, and the election will be held in March 31st, and who knows, before we will do a proper handing over ceremony, it will be in April. So what I say to that, with my competent team, that is Team Wilson, we will make sure that the electoral cycle of Elusa will be restored, and we will only serve for 7 months, no matter what program it is, no matter what policy it is, with the competent team behind me. And I believe that when we are elected into office, we can able to finish all our programs and policies within the 7 months, and we will become one of the best sub-associations as far as the University of the Gambia is concerned. The other important policy is about the inclusion of what we call the PWDs, or what we call the people with different able persons. Because according to the United Nations CRPD Article 28, we promote what we call inclusion. And when you come to Elusa, this is something in which we must also prioritize. We are teachers, we have people with different able people within our midst. So what we are going to do that, we are going to make sure that the constitution of Elusa will be reviewed to make sure that these people will be having representative as far as Elusa is concerned, and this is something which will be unprecedented, and this is something which will be historic. Last semester, one of our people was trying to put on that bill, but due to politics, that was the moment these bills were able to be put aside because of what there were bills which were prioritized. The other important policy is to make sure that we consolidate the existing partnership and also expand our bilateral partnership. And this is something because we know that for an association to move, for an association to progress, if there is no partnership, because we believe that no one stands alone, and an association also cannot stand alone, we will also make sure that we consolidate the partnership we currently have with Yami Foundation, the partnership which we currently have with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, who are our largest partners, and also MAHAS. And we are not only going to stop that, we will also try to at least knock other areas where we can able to make sure that we expand our partnership, and this is something which will also have an effect in the Elusan, in the life and livelihood of Elusan, and this is something, it can only be possible when you elect leaders who has that connection, and when you elect leaders who have that influence within themselves.
Thank you.
So,
thank you. Thank you so much. Elusans, we heard from both the president candidates that their policies and program, and they have more in store. So if you want to hear more from them, join them the convention day. They are going to give you their policies and program. Now I will have to turn, Honorable. Every leader has a philosophy. In your own words, how does your leadership style directly embody the Edusa motto, learn, teach, and develop, in 1 minute?
it has to go down with transformative leadership, because of when you learn, you teach, and when you teach, of course, you develop, and that is what we call transformative leadership. And I say that being a transformative leadership, I believe that in leadership that we transform whatever we are doing as leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Honorable Jallo, every leader has a philosophy. In your own words, how does your leadership style directly embodied Edusa motto, learn, teach, and develop, in 1 minute?
My political philosophy focus on more empowerment, giving chance to people. And that goes concurrently with the Edusa motto. It is Edusa called for empowerment, for creating chance for individuals that are members of the association. And as such, my philosophy, of course, talks about the empowerment, like I said, because I believe it's through empowerment that members of the association can benefit from whatever the association can create, or from any chances that the association can create. My policies are holistically focused on empowerment, and if you can listen the time I was reading my policy, you can see, or you can hear, or you can feel how it talks about the empowerment, how it talks about creating opportunities. Because I believe elected individuals serve as a network that can create more connection for its members, not a network that can create more violence or problem for its members. For my political philosophy is about empowerment, empowering educants, creating more chances for educants, delivering opportunities for educants, and that's my political philosophy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. You can still keep the mic. Many educants are saying the political camps bring more divisions than unity in Edusa. Now, if you become the president, you will have the power and the constitution at your hand. Are you going to ban the camps, or you are still going to maintain the camp in Edusa? In 1 minute.
To start with, let me just go down historically. When I was serving as the IPRO at the University of the Gambia Student Union Electoral Commission, we said it before all candidates. Outside, you talk about camps, but constitutionally, there's no camp that is registered. That being the case, if I am elected as a president, I cannot observe any camp as far as there's no camp is registered constitutionally. These are just an arrangement that's a group of individuals made outside who have a similar political philosophy. And that cannot be transmitted into the into the executive council, because I believe charity begins home. Before we talk about outside, we, the executive ourselves, has to arrange ourselves and put ourselves in order. For me, if I come as a president, I see Edusa. And of course, since ever, that's my vision, Edusa and Edusa. And that's why when I come as an independent candidate, the slogan remains the same. That's the unification of Edusa.
Thank you.
Not a political party. I recognize no political party if I come through Edusa, I come from Edusa through a political party. I'm going back to Edusa to serve them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we say that, they say that Edusans say that political comes in at School of Education, divide Edusans instead of unifying them. Now, if you happen to become the president under the 16th Executive Council, you will have the constitution under your purview. Are you going to maintain the camp, or are you going to ban the camp?
Yeah,
in 1 minute.
As I said, when Seka is elected into office as the next president of Edusa, for me myself, recognizing political camp is something which I will not even affiliate myself with. But again, as I always say, it's not the political camp which has the problem, but the people within this political camp are the problem. Why that? Because we are in the University of the Gambia, we have 12 sub-associations within the University of the Gambia. But what happens in Edusa is something which is unprecedented, where it will go to an extent that people will be attacking each other, caricaturing each other, insulting each other, and this is something which I believe that it has to go down with individual or personality. Because I believe in that type of education that when you are morally bankrupted, no matter which society you find yourself, no matter which place you find yourself, whatever they try to do, this is something in which is going to show out as always. As they always said, a pregnant woman, no matter what, there must be a time the belly must show out. And this is the reality of Edusa. So,
thank you. Thank you.
Stopping a political camp is something which, for me, my leadership, I'm not going to do, because again, everything lies down within the leaders.
Thank you.
If the leaders is seen as someone who put the lens of a political camp, then of course the rest of the followers will do it. And this is something which I'm not going to entertain. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable, we need a president that is going to serve us fully. And then we all know you're in your final year, probably your final semester. So meaning you're going to serve Edusa and only one semester, this semester. So the other semesters, you will be nowhere to be, you'll become a ghost. Why do you apply? You know that you are in your final semester. Are you going to be there or what?
Okay, thank you very much, IPRO. That's a very good question, and I know this is a doubt that is running in the minds of many people. Yes, Bara is in his final semester, and then after completing, he is going. Well, at the university, there's something that's very much fundamental. That is, university, they don't consider semester much. What they consider most is a requirement. Because no matter what number of semester you spend at the university, if you don't meet the requirement for you to be graduate, you can never be graduated. You can go years. So that requirement that's what is most significant. Ask whether in this semester I'm going to meet the requirement, mean the number of courses that are obligatory upon me to do in order to be graduated. Before, when these things comes in my mind, and put all those things into calculation. Like I tell you, I'm an experienced individual when it comes to these things. I serve at SU level, where I have to go through all those things. So I understood that I have a very two core courses that are compulsory. They are not choice, that I cannot go without. So these things this means I have to come back in the next semester, meaning I'm left with 2 semesters at the University of the Gambia. Aside from this semester, mean next semester I have to come. And this has to go with my leadership, because I cannot promote justification, promote honesty when I am not honest. I talked about it, I think about it, I understood that it's not just the semester, but the requirement. And that requirement has pinned me that I must come back for next semester, because I have two core courses on the geography that I cannot go without. I cannot graduate without. These I must meet them. So technically, I am left with 2 semesters. And it's not matter of just this semester and I go. So for anybody who is having that doubt, that the person understood it clearly, that I am with you from the beginnings up to the ending, until I hand over power by the will of God.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Honorable, you are in your 4th year, that is the final year, probably your final semester, and you are vying for the position of presidency. So meaning you're going to serve, if at all this is right, you're going to serve only 1 semester, and the next semester there will be no presidents in Edusa. So what do you have to say about this?
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. And I believe my opponent also need to be honest to himself, but we will get into there as the demo will start. Anyway, talking about yes, I'm in my final year and I'm left with 2 active semesters as far as the University of the Gambia School of Education is concerned. And whoever knows Seka knows that Seka is someone who's always available. Seka is the most available person when you are looking for leaders within the School of Education and also the university. Not only available, but someone who's approachable, someone who can able to sacrifice his classes, someone who can able to sacrifice his time to make sure that to see his fellows smile. And this is something which I have been doing since in my first semester. I could recall, even in my first semester, people do even ask me, Seka, in your final year? I will always tell them, no, because I could recall there was even a day when it was an election where I wanted to vote, and even the EC members have to stop me because of what I told them. I was in my second year, but they could not believe it. So when it comes to availability, even if Bara Jallo is going to spend another 3 years, one thing for sure, Bara is someone who is not even available. He cannot even solve his own problem, talk less of the problem of education. And this is something which is empirical evidence. This is something which you, my fellow educators, have been seeing. Because of one thing for sure, like, we have to be honest to ourselves. We have to be sincere to ourselves. We cannot just come here for the sake of the cameras just to be saying sweet words. At the end of the day, we will be the people who will be affected. And as they always say, choose leaders based on their right position. And the right person for this educator's presidency is Seka. Bara, if in a proper class rep, he cannot even handle talk less of leading thousands of editors, and this is something which we have to be honest to ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Still can hold the mic because the next person is going to you. Honorable Seka, Section 13.2 says that the law stated you must enforce due observation of the Constitution. If executive member refuse to follow the law, how will you discipline your ministers then while maintaining council unity?
You know, when we talk about leadership, one thing which is very fundamental, as a leader, you must be someone who has that influence. You talk, people listening to you. You act, people listening to you. And this is something which is embedded in Seka. In this instance, because of in any association, the moment you come together and you are working, more especially people from different social background, of course there will be a time you will have issues, you will have problems. But again, those problems, as a president, should not make me to go extra mile. But I will do is call the people, call the person responsible, call them, talk to them, explain to them, put some wisdom in them. And this is the only reason we can able to, because no one is perfect. No one is an island. You talk to them, you speak to them. based on that leadership influence. Of course, you can able to bring them back to their senses, and this is something which I have been doing. I have been doing to this leadership voluntary work for over a decade, and this is something which is new to me, and this is something, inshallah, not only looking at the constitution or saying that the constitution has given me this mandate, but I will also use my leadership skills to make sure that I can able to bring everyone in order, and this is something which I will prioritize. Thank you.
Thank you. Talking to them is not a problem, but my question is, how are you going to discipline them? You can you break the law, you can talk to the person, but still you have to discipline the person.
In terms of discipline, first we have to know that we have what we call a code of conduct before going even to the constitution, and this code of conduct are things which are derived from what we call the constitution. So the code of conduct is a conduct which must be agreed by every council members, irrespective of the political community you come from, because this is something which I will not even see as a leader. But this is something which we all must come together and agree, whether it's Seka is the president or probably Seka is any person, whoever is at fault, and based on what the code of conduct stated, in consulting with my FG, we will make sure that the due force of the code of conduct will be make sure that we will adhere to it, and this is some whoever is at fault, you will make sure that you will also face the due punishment of the law. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Section 13(2) states that you must enforce due observation of the Constitution. If an executive member refuses to follow the law, how will you discipline them while maintaining council unity if you become the president? In 1 minute.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable IPR. But before diving into the questions, I want to clarify this point. Today's individual, who is Ibrahim Seka, who is claiming that I cannot even solve my problems when I have been solving problems of thousands of individuals, meaning that you don't even listen when I was reading my track records. Somebody who have been a leader from scratch, from primary school, solving people problems, and we are telling the person cannot solve his own problem. And when you come to Edusa, well, like I tell you, it's not just about a camera service. I have been there for Edusa, serving their interests in different capacity. Now, coming down to the question, I will get back to you later. Coming back down to the question, well, I believe in every association, of course, which Edusa is not exempted, has a governing principles that has to control behavior of its members, and that is the Constitution. And for any members of the executive or any member of the association who has violated the Constitution, will use the Constitution to regulate it, but not matter of that saying that I am the president, I have to do things on my own.
Thank you.
I will have to be going to follow the Constitution, and if it wants that individual to be suspended until a proper investigation is made to address the matter, we are going to launch that suspension. We can suspend the individual from total council work, and investigation will be launched to justify whether what the individual is accused of or what the individual have the offense the individual have done is punishable or not. But at the point that we cannot allow the individual to interact with the executive, while the students themselves seeing that this person have faulted in X, Y, or Z. And that's why I said in every executive or in every association has a governing policy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My next question to Honorable Jallo is that President power require proven competence.
Yes.
What specific project have you led in the past that proven you can handle the executive power of Edusa? In 1 minute.
Well, as within the University of the Gambia, outside the University of the Gambia, let me understand precisely.
No, it's open.
It's open.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Like I tell you, I have been a leader throughout, and then the leadership is not just about holding the position, but to lay down the projects, to lay down opportunities that can help individual. And that's been said. When I was serving as the president of the LRR Student Association at Armitage, I laid down that projects that will help every student from LRR to be given that fare or to be provided that transportations from Armitage down to their parents' house. Aside from that also, I have also contributed when I was at Japan and then serving as the president. Serving as the president of the Scout, we laid on that project with one of our teachers, Mr. Balde. I believe is right now, if he is listening, he can attest to that. We laid out a project whereas individuals who are members of the association can benefit. What were the benefits? We understand that some student has some financial problem, where we can help those people buy some textbooks, buy some learning materials, and help them empower their education.
Okay.
So that's has been with me, and then these are just few of the projects that I have laid down.
Thank you.
When you come to social level,
Thank you.
well, if you start to talk about that, we may not finish it here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. However, say that President power require proven competence. What specific project have you led in the past that proven you can handle the executive power of EDUSA?
Just to start it, before coming to EDUSA, sorry, UTG at large, as I'm serving currently as the country director of the PLL Foundation during the COVID-19, which was a very difficult moment as far as this country is concerned, to an extent that there were a lot of restrictions. Under my leadership, we were able to come up with an initiative, a project, where we were able to at least so over 500 of face masks, and these masks were distributed to the vulnerable places, and our target was Serekunda Market, where our aunties, our mothers who are sellers within that particular vicinity, and also the commuters, we give them masks, and also even the police station, and the pictures are there for me, because I believe that whatever we are doing, it has to be based on evidence, and of course, whoever need the evidence, this is something which will be provided to you, not to come here with abstracting. Again, coming to within my community, through my leadership, I was able to at least have a partnership with the National Road Agency, and we started initiating what we call a zebra crossing, and this zebra crossing has already been started. We targeted Faraba, and from Faraba we started in Lamen, and this is something which as far there's a road within the vicinity of Busumbara constituency, and this is something which everyone will also benefit. And coming to the University of the Gambia, the projects I came up with what we call Green Faraba. This was one of the most important projects as far as Faraba is concerned.
Thank you.
The health center with the university students, so the health center of Faraba, we were able to come up with the initiative to paint Faraba, and we even donated them with paint. And if we, of course, there are a lot of evidence out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. You can keep the mic. My next question is to go to you. Honorable Seka, you witnessed 13 Executive Council, 14 Executive Council, and then you are part of 15 Executive Council. Now, if you happen to become the next president, what changes will you bring in your first 100 days in office, different from these 3 Executive Council?
Yeah.
In 1 minute.
As I said, whoever knows Seka knows that Seka is a transformative leader. Seka is a leader who has vision. And the first changes which I will do as the president who is leading this upcoming council, one of them is about because of, as I said, in as much as we have policies, if we are not united as Edison, this is something which will be very difficult for us to achieve. And through the unification, we can able to come up with project where we are going to have what we call standard training, where we are going to link Edison to the rest of the rest of our partners, the existing partners, and also the partners whom we are going to get to see how best we can able to create that opportunity with them. And that opportunity also has to be something which has to be transparent, and there must be what we call accountability into it. Because in as much as we want to say yes, we do this, are we even seeing it? And this is something which I believe as a leader, we must be people who are vision, and through that vision, we must be people who are accountable and also transparent, and in order for us to be able to achieve whatever we want to achieve as leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. You witnessed 13 Executive Council, 14 Executive Council, and 15 Executive Council. Now, if you happen to be the president, Edusans want to know, in your first 100 days, what changes are you going to bring different from these 3 council in your first 100 days in 1 minute?
Okay, thank you very much. It is significant that the moment you step in office, before you step in office, you start work. And if you step in office, you continue work. And as a matter of fact, in my first 100 days in office, it's not to seek where files are, but to continue work, like I said. In the first 100 days is to reach out, like I tell you, to the Faculty Office of Education, to bring this to them. There's ideas that we want our best graduating student to start being recruited as lecturers under the School of Education at the University of the Gambia. This agenda, I want to move these ones in my first 100 days, because I don't want EDUSA to lose its best graduating student. We want these people to come back and serve our EDUSA. So without waste of time, this is a policy, or this is an idea I want to move in. Secondly, is to move the agenda of unity amongst EDUSANT, because I understand all this executive, of course, which he is part of. He cannot unite EDUSANT. He been given the chance to unite EDUSANT on so many times, but he cannot unite them.
Thank you.
So the first thing is to make sure that that philosophy of differences between EDUSANT is gone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Jallo. True leadership is about sacrifice. Can you describe a time you made a difficult decision that favors students, especially the EDUSANT, and then it affect you? But you see the students, that's why you make that decision in 1 minute.
There are so many times. I have sacrificed my time, my lecture time, and so many times I have sacrificed my income and money to serve the interests of the student. And of course, which he is a beneficiary of. There are on so many occasions I left classes with Bambo Bai, who is a lecturer under the Department of Geography at the University of the Gambia, and Baba Tunda, who was serving as a lecturer. When we are establishing an association, that is Geography Student Association, I do leave lectures and then go with them from department to department seeking for partnership, because we wanted GSA, the Geography Student Association, to have that partnership with most of the department that has relation to geography, so that our students can be going there on partnership. I spend my money and I sacrifice my lecture while coming down to at SU level.
Thank you.
Where I have used to leave my lectures and then go work at SU level as a commissioner. When my fellow students are in class attending lectures, I have to leave it, because I took this oath. I'm going to serve the interests of the students at the University of the Gambia, and that I must fulfill that.
Thank you.
Regardless of what losses I may have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Honorable Seka, true leadership is about sacrifice. Can you describe a time you made a difficult decision that favored the student's body under the education, but was personally unpopular for you?
Thank you, Sir Umar. And before I will even get into that, because this is something which I always try to at least make as a low key. But just to start with what the opponent justice mentioned, that he has sacrificed. This were your constitutional mandate, and you have to do it. Whether you like it, you don't like it. This is just a must. And coming to the sacrifice, I could recall there was a particular day when it was just 2 lecturers. But let me start with the first lecturer, who is Dr. Fatima. She once texted in the group that, because in those days there were free crisis, and she wants students' assignment to be submitted to where she stayed, that is Bara. So when I realized and analyzed everything, I knew that this is something which is going to be very difficult. A class of almost like 70 people. What I did was to tell them, let them give me their assignment. They all printed their assignment. It was over 70 copies. Then there was no free. I took it upon myself, took the risk. No one gave me phone. This was something which I have to even pay for myself. I took all their assignment, used a board, which in my whole life, the moment you tell me, second, use a board, I will tell you, no. I rather use the Trans-Gambia road. But on that particular day, I have to sacrifice my time, sacrifice myself, and use the board and get into where Dr. Fatima is, and submitted all the assignment. And I came back. And this was something which I believe was a real sacrifice. It's only a leader who can do it. And the other one was with Dr. Saiba. So of course, if we talk about Dr. Saiba, you know that Dr. Saiba is someone who is a student shooter. When he told students that I needed for any student to come to attend my class tomorrow, this was around like 9 p.m. where he sent in a message that student must submit must come up with a handout. I have to sacrifice. First thing in the morning, I wake up. Before in the morning, I have to call Mr. King around 10 p.m. Told Mr. King that we need this particular handout. I have to wake up early in the morning, meet with Mr. King, meet him at the Gambia College. It was around Fajr, and print out all this assignment for the students and take it up.
Thank you.
So thank you.
So now I will take a question from the general student body, that is the EDUSANTs, and this one said, ask Seka why. Seka, this question goes to you, and then it's from the EDUSANTs. They said, ask Seka why he left Edison Nelson White to team in Bansang to attend 2 days training with Gambian participants without seeking permission from the President and the Secretary General, being the chairperson of the tour. You, Seka, he is referring to you as the chairperson of the tour. Why can you give chance for others to contest after serving 2 councils as Deputy Secretary General and Vice President? Is that not a greed of power?
Thank you. First, I will start with what we call the first question, which is regarding about the Nelson White. Because one thing, because this thing has to do with logic. I cannot leave people all the way from Bansang and I came to the combos which are even talking to the president. And I believe these are all political propaganda which have been happening, circulating, which I believe that, because I believe in my concept, whatever I do is something which has to be upright. And I could recall that very night. I have to work with the president, Alassane. If he is listening to me and being honest, I work with him up to the hall. And that was the time he told me, have a safe journey. And this trip was not a trip of Gambia participate only. Because I promised Edison that this nationwide tour will be a tour of differences where we were going to plan what we call trees. And of course, the council was not able to fund that. I have to link with my people in here. And the time before they will finalize everything, we started our journey. And that was the time we went up to Bansang. And I took this opportunity, came back, and ran these trees. And that was the time I was able to link with Mustafa Bite, if he is listening to me, and he was able to drive his vehicle all the way from Combo to Forefay and where he drove the vehicle. That's why the day we even went to Forefay, you realize that I went with few people, we went and collected these trees. And at the end of the day, these trees added an impact into our nationwide tour. So it's not about it. Again, the Gambia Press, this is something which I have been informed since then. Because I have already given them my word. I have already given them given them that authority. And because I have been working with Gambia Press for over 4 good years. So you realize that there was a more binding, a legal binding between myself and Gambia Press. Again, I went to Bansang, came back to the combos. Just look at that. I left Bansang around 2 a.m. Took the van and I came in the combo as early as 7 a.m. And I reached at Combos. I was able to spend here the night. The following day, I have to took a VIP bus and was to Basse. That's where I even met them. Meaning my absence in the nationwide tour is just less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours, and I met them at Basse. That was around 10 p.m. and that was in Basse, in the Basse youth center. That was why I met them. And despite that, despite I being here, I have been communicating with the president. If I didn't take any excuse from the president, do you think that it would be very easier for me to communicate to the president? It is something that is practically impossible. To an extent that the president will have to call me. Yes, sir, yes, the lawyers in which you propose, we decided to go back to the center. Come on, this is just a common sense. In as much as we need position, in as much as we want to get our candidate into something, we just have to be honest ourselves. And this was something, a journey which has started and a journey which has also added value as far as Edison is concerned.
Thank you.
The other one. Someone asks whether I have served in the field for 13 executive council, 14 executive council, and also currently serving in the 15 executive, is whether this is a grade or whatsoever. Whoever knows Seka, you know that Seka is not someone who's greedy. Because I could recall, Prof, when in my first semester, that was the time we campaigned very hard against the 12 executive council until we were able to win the 13 executive council, which Renaissance led, which Barry was, even part of it was even sacrificing all his time there. So I was proposed, because of they know my leadership competence, they know my availability. I was proposed to be given a deputy technical and logistic minister. I declined it. Halifa is there, Carl Jabi, Malmo is there, even then President Comrade Alassane, they were all there and said, Seka, we want you to become a deputy technical and legitimate. Come on, if I was greedy, of course I would have easily taken that. But I told them, no, there are people who were here, given the opportunity to go. The simple reason, because this has been something which has been disturbing this, my opinion, more especially when it comes to SSC. Because of seeing the Seka's president, as far as this presidency is concerned, this is something which always disturbs them. Because of they know what I know, and I know what they know. So, the simple reason why I have to come back. Come on, I serve as a deputy secretary, and when you look into the Edison Constitution 2022, even the role of the deputy secretary general, of course, it's not even stipulated. But again, we know that being a deputy secretary general, you have to listen to what your boss will say. You cannot even act which are the consent of your boss, and this is something which is reality. Again, serving as the vice presidency of EDUSA. If you look at the EDUSA constitution, one of the few important rules as a vice president is about being at the head of the organizing committee, being the chairperson of the nationwide. But apart from that, you are always there to be assisting the president. If the president says this, you cannot go against him because the constitution has already given him that power to add. Whether it favors you, it doesn't favor you, it's not more especially if you have a president who's not unified. We try by our best, we try by our best. But again, I've been a transformative leader. I did not only stick to what the constitution gave me. I was able to load a printing machine to the general EDUSANs. I was able to make sure that we grew EDUSA, not only EDUSA, but the university at large. And again, I was able to represent EDUSA as far proper representative is concerned within the University of the Government and within EDUSA. So talking about greed or whatever, of course I know that the person who is great here, the person who is even greedy here is my opponent who has been sacrificing all his time to the extent that I could recall last election, he came and said that campism is something which is even dividing EDUSA. And here, unfortunately, I could have put the camera on him. You've seen him with the SSC. Sad. The inconsistency in him is something which needs to be questioned rather than Seka. Thank you. I have been so consistent.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Yes.
There's a question. This one is from the general EDUSANs, and then they say that to both presidential candidates. So now both of you have to answer this question.
Yes.
To both presidential candidates, what have you done for EDUSA in terms of helping students taking part in activities, etc., that make you the best candidate for this position?
Okay, thank you very much. And before going forward, I want to address Ibrahim Seka, who is just speaking.
Please,
speaking rubbish here. So, because you don't even know what he's saying here right now. He's just, just like a blooded python. You don't even understand the language he's speaking here right now. Understand? So, the nationwide tour, obviously, it is outright there, clear that you boycotted the nationwide tour.
Yes, to the answer, to the question.
Excuse me. Before I
you have to answer the questions, then after you dive into whatever.
All right, just excuse me. Before diving into the question, I want to clear this. There's a time for clarification.
There's a time for clarification.
All right, let's
sit down and then answer the question to EDUSANs.
Okay,
now I want both of you to respect that. This question is from EDUSANs, and they are the one that is going to vote for you into the office. Okay. So if you want me to repeat the question, I can repeat.
All right, go ahead with the question again.
Yeah, this is to both presidential candidates. What have you done for EDUSA in terms of helping students to taking part in activities, etc., that make you the best candidate for the position? Because we all know that EDUSANs don't participate in activities.
Okay. First is to coordinate a whole of a team to participate in EDUSA Sport Week. As a student, as a members of the association, of course, like I say, which he is part of, Ibrahim, I coach him. I organize all our batchmates, bring them together, fix them, and then they participated well in that tournament. So that has made a very remarkable point for me as an individual who is a member of it, of the association, to be able to coordinate, call individual from different, use my phone, use my credit, call individual wherever they are, please come over. And those individuals also sacrifice their time, sacrifice their resources, respond to the call, and they participated. That is not hidden. Everybody knew that. Have seen how I struggled, how I was running from one person to another, try to organize them, bring them together. Of course, even Ibrahim, who is contesting under their camp, was part of it. Ibrahim Ayobojan, who was our goalkeeper, that boy can attest how I was able to mobilize a docent to participate in an activity organized by the council. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. Honorable, if you want me to repeat the questions, I can repeat it, or you don't need it.
With regard to what sacrifice have we done to EDUSA, right?
Yes.
I think it's more of repetition again. But,
yeah, but it's from the EDUSANs.
But for the sake of...
not what you have done, how to make them to participate in the activities.
Okay, thank you for that. First, we need to understand that leadership has to do with influence, and as said by my political opponent, that he has even coached me. Of course, yes, he was giving that. In fact, he even put himself as a coach, not even people challenging him as a coach. And away from that, even that to the food, the drink, whatsoever.
Let's go to the answer, please.
But going to the answers direct, and I believe that for the first time in the history of EDUSA, the EDUSA Teachers Day celebration, which was the most successful Teachers Day celebration as far as EDUSA is concerned, this was something where I was serving as the head of the organizing committee. We were able to mobilize EDUSANs. We were able to mobilize resources. We were able to mobilize even speakers who came in there to give a top-notch speech. We were able to make sure that we came together and mobilized. And through my influence as the head of the organizing committee, the EDUSA whole was full to bring. And of course, evidences are here. It went to a moment, I believe, in the next 3 or 2 days, even the president had to come. Not to me directly, but to the aspiring vice president, telling her that I want your people to go and mobilize EDUSA so that they can come and attend the retreat. So that's to tell you that leadership has to go with influence. And Bara here, who can even influence himself, if he have to sit here and tell you that he's going to influence Bara this or calling whatsoever, these are all things which are fabricated. They're in reality. What you are seeing, of course, pictures don't lie. Evidence don't lie, and these are things which are all over within the campus and also in the media. And if you want to have evidence in it, you can even go to scroll in Find TV's archive. You can able to see a lot. And even after, you may even be scrolling for a whole day, you will not even see his face in any of these activities. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question is to you, Honorable Seka. Section 13 says that as a primary signatory to association account, what specific measure will you use to put in place to ensure that 100% financial transparency as the law require? In 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you, Program. This is something I have been a signatory in almost like six organizations as far my experience is concerned, and which I believe EDUSA is something which I'm not going there as a learner. This is something which is already in me, and I know how banks operate. When it comes to GT Bank, when it comes to Trust Bank, and EDUSA is banking with what we call Trust Bank. So when it comes to transparency, this is something which is very fundamental. I could recall, Prof, when we assumed office for the first 3 to 4 months, our council was not able to access the account. Myself, as the vice president, I text in the group to an extent that even sometimes some of these respond, even more when SG is responding me. It is your show. It is your responsibility to know what is in the account or what. Because I believe as leaders, we must be transparent. We must be people who will allow people to hold us accountable. And this is something which is very important. So whoever knows Seka, you know that Seka is someone who is very transparent. And Seka is someone who can easily be accountable. And this is something which I'm going to prioritize. And that's why even in my policy, due to time, this is one of my policy. Accountability and also transparency is something which must be upheld by any means. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable Bara, if you are elected as the president of the 16th executive council, section 13 says, as a primary signatory to the association account, what specific measures will you put in place to ensure 100% financial transparency as law require? In 1 minute.
Now, thank you very much. And moving down to my policies, because I understood that one of the most significant things as far as an association is concerned, and as far as an organization is concerned, it is the financial sector of it. And that is the point where almost everybody or every member of the associations or the organizations is very much interested or very much concerned about. On that being the case, going through my policy, I have one of the policies that call for accountability and transparency, because I understand the people need to understand the flow of money. They need to understand the flow of cash. So accountability and transparency is something that I'm going to enforce for the individual or the members of the association to understand or to understand the flow of money, for them to have the trust to the executive, for them to have that confidence on the executive or on the ruling council. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Jallo. Academic delay are major frustration beyond just talking to the administration or faculty officers. What is your concrete plan to address the issue delaying grade for educational students, especially graduating class? Because if your grades are not in, you will never graduate. So what plan do you have if you become the president?
Thank you very much. And this very significant question, but before I come to this studio, I was in line with some students who were giving such complaint that sometimes they are facing those challenges, and it has been the challenges that many students faces. And even the time I was the chairperson at the Gambia College Ministry of Education under Bakr K. Baji, we faced such kind of challenges from students. And when those kind of things come before us, of course, it is a responsibility, a mandatory upon us and upon me to work with the Minister of Education to address the matter, find out where the problem is. If, for example, a lecturer was contracted to lecture a course, eventually the lecturer traveled back home or maybe have another opportunities and went away with the question or with the mark. Those things are things that I have to work with the Minister of Education, go through the faculty office, get to the faculty office and find out who this individual is and where those marks are. And for whatever it is, I, together with the Minister of Education, will help in the individual affected.
Thank you.
So make sure that their grades are being given to them without facing any other challenges or being marked down or facing other difficulties that may come their way.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Seka, academic delay are major frustration beyond just talking to administration or the faculty officer. What is your concrete plan to bring to address this issue, especially the graduating students? In 1 minute.
Thank you, Prof. As we speak, I'm currently doing that because of I believe in practical. I believe in doing things which are realistic. As I'm speaking to you, my fellow Edison, currently there are over 50 people, students, who are currently facing great issues. And Alhamdulillah, due to my leadership, due to my proper handling, I was able to solve the issues out. As we speak, over 30 people have already seen their grade, and we are only left with probably around 20 people who, of course, before Sunday or Monday, they will have their final results or grade. And this is something which is very important. So as a president, if I'm elected into office, which I'm hopeful for, I will also try and work with the office of the vice president and also in the office of the education and research ministry, because these are these two offices which are responsible for great issues. Not only the office of the education and research has been stated by my opponent here. These two offices work together. That's why even if you look into the constitution of education, they will tell you that the office of the vice president, you have to work directly with the office of the education and research. And these are the offices, but again, you need people who are visionary. But again, they can only do things when you as the president you as the president, you are someone who is very active and you are someone who has that foresight. You work with them. Put a proper document, take their data, people who are affected, and make sure that you make a follow-up in both the faculty office and also the lecturer for the grade. And this is the only way in which we can able to solve out this crisis. But Alhamdulillah, this is something which has become a history in literature. And again, this is something which we are working on as someone who is currently into it. And this is something which I believe that to continue with this policy is something which should not be a major problem for me. Thank you.
Honorable Jallo, if you are elected and become the president of the 16th Executive Council, you will have in the School of Education students that are sponsored by MOFSI. And these scholarship holders, they have a nightmare that is, always being the last scholarship holders to be cleared in order to register their courses. And many a times, this become a problem right from 13 Executive Council, 14 Executive Council, and the 15 Executive Council also inherit it. So what is going to be your stand to make sure that this history does not continue? There's a stop to it with your education and research minister.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. IPRO, otherwise Honorable IPRO. Like you said, scholarships students under the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education face a lot of challenges when it comes to clearance. I can remember in my second year, I have to work in hand in glove with one of the students who was affected. Of course, this person met me at the Ministry of Education at Banjul, was definitely worried. He was complaining about the probability of not being able to register the courses that the individual want to register. for the fact that the person was not cleared still. But I tell the person, well, let's see what is possible for us to do. Because I understand that this has been a problem, a mega problem for university students on the School of Education. And most of the time, all other students on the other scholarships are cleared before them. So if I become the president, these are things that is not new to me. These are things that I have started helping students in reaching out to responsible individuals, reaching out to the peers who is a working body at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, reach out to the HR, a focal individual, and then help those individuals table out this issue. And then I don't have to wait until when students start to face those challenges, I start to act. No, before the problem itself, meaning that the moment I am elected in office, of course, this will be part of the main responsibility that I have to work to solve.
Thank you.
Not to wait until the problem. We know where the problem can be solved. The problem cannot be solved at Farabai. The problem can be solved at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education.
Thank you.
Reach out to the individuals that are responsible and then make a clear resolution with them that will help to clear all these problems.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Seka. If you happen to be the president of the 16th Executive Council, and then in that association there are students that are sponsored by MOPSI, it is a nightmare for those students. Every semester they are the one that get last to be cleared, and then they will not be able to register their courses, especially those that are in their final semester. So now, if you happen to be the president, how are you going to address this problem? Because this problem is being repeating from 13, 14 up to the 15th Executive Council. So how are you going to solve this problem?
Thank you, Prof. Not only how am I going to solve the problem, but I'm also solving the problem, and I've been solving the problem of not only MOPSA student, but even Moha's student. But just to give you a glimpse about it, because of this has to do with someone who has that connection. And when we are talking about connection, you have to have that rapport with the authorities who are responsible for it. Because the last time a student of MOPSA reached out to me complaining about these issues, that was the time I went to Banjul, met with the peers, we talked in length, and he later even told me that the simple reason why the MOPSA scholarship, MOPSA sponsored students are facing this thing is because of what the ministry looted millions of dollars is. And of course, you know that this is something which is very serious. So we realized in that aspect, so we talked in length, and he told me that what they are currently doing is to make sure that whoever is affected, they can send in their data and be submitted there. And that was the moment I told some of these people who have reached out to me. They went into the MOPSA and they were able to give their data to them, and they cleared them. And this is something which is practical. And coming even to Mohas, which I'm also part of a beneficiary for the scholarship. There were a moment for the last 2 semesters, we know that those of us who are in Mohas sponsored scholarship, we face series of problems. To the extent that university lectures started to the following week. I think it was 2 or the 3rd week. But again, we were not clear. So what we did, we in consultation with my brother Hakim, we were able to collect all the data. It went up to almost over 200 students. We went to Mars, we were able to be seated there, we collected all their details, their our data, and also the university admission data. And from that day, they were all able to be cleared into the system. And again, it has to go down to what we call a proper representative, someone who has the time for the students and who can able to represent them at any level. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Seka. Now, if you go to the School of Education, there are a lot of rumors and there are a lot of things that is happening there. People say the admissions are good, but the politicians are the problems, and they are the one causing all these problems at the political bantaba and in the campus. So now, if you happen to become the president, how are you going to use your power as the guidance of the Constitution to unify all the admissions as one?
Yeah, of course.
In 1 minute.
Admissions don't even have problem. In fact, a politician don't have problem. It's just few disgruntled people who have the problem. Because of, I always take myself as a typical example. Despite saying being a politician, I always tell them I'm just a leader, not even a politician. But I vibe with everybody, irrespective of the political community. Even sometimes some people will even insult me online, caricatures, certain kind of stuff. When I see them, my brother Bia is here. I believe he's a witness for that. So, like, I talk to them. I even love with them. I even hug them. to see that because of what I always see that EDUSA face. At the end of the day, we are all representing EDUSA, and this is the reason. And I believe that as leaders, the moment one of the reasons why we are having all this problem because of any leader who doesn't want to be criticized. Of course, you are not a leader. You must be criticized. You must be criticized, and that's the only way in which you can able to unify EDUSA. As I always give a reference, the time of the Musa-led council, and also the time of the Alassane-led council. These were all leaders who were criticized, but at the end of the day, they were able to unify EDUSA. So, as a leader, I will make sure that this is something which I will prioritize to make sure that EDUSA is something which I will see first. As I always say, EDUSA first, EDUSA first, EDUSA first. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable. Now, if you happen to become the next president of the 16th Executive Council, and there's a rumor and then there are a lot of things that is going on in our political bantaba and in the campus that the EDUSANs are good, but the problem is the politician. Now, how can you use your power as the president and the custodians of the constitution to unite EDUSANs?
Okay, thank you very much. I will not regard this one as a rumor because these are things that people talk about plainly, even within the School of Education. During this campaign, I met with a female student at the School of Environment and Agriculture and Environment, and this is the same thing that the students repeated. They said, we learned that EDUSA has the dirtiest politics. EDUSA use all kind of words to each other. Well, I told him, well, that is the belief of outsiders. But with reality that those are individuals who are using serial account and then criticizing and then try to tarnish the image of others. But now if I become a president, of course, which he couldn't achieve with all this bogus thing that he's talking about here, he is just talking, but he has been given that opportunity. On several occasions, he couldn't register that achievement. As somebody who was working with the 13 and the 14 and the 15 Executive Council, you couldn't achieve nothing if not to copy and paste individual achievements and then tagging it as yours, which he has been doing here since we started this debate. But if I become as a president, the first thing is to enforce unity among individuals.
Thank you.
Because that is the only way that we can clear all these political intolerance. And that's why in my policy, number one, I said to promote political tolerance to mitigate political violence among EDUSAN. We need to sanitize the school. We need to revitalize. We need to sell the good image of EDUSA.
Thank you.
It is, we cannot just continue flowing that way. And then to end that, we must vote out such individual like him, who is the pioneer of all problems.
Thank you.
Evidence has said it out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can hold my next questions to you. Honorable, if you become the president, you will be the overall boss of the 16th Executive Council. And your ministers will organize training and seminars.
Yes.
And EDUSANs will apply, they will attend in their large numbers.
Yes.
So we have seen in the 15th Executive Council that the participants have to pay for their certificate.
Yes.
Under your leadership, are you going to continue with that, or you bring initiative whereby students will participate, they will attend trainings, and they will be satisfied, but they will not pay for it?
If, like I said, EDUSA is an association that is governed by policies, governed by constitutions. And then the association is given a limit, that is the number of individuals that you can train and certify without payment. But also, if you want to make it open so that you can give that room for many people to benefit from, maybe they are interested in that training, they want to benefit from that training, and then you are, as the president, you are the association has limited you not to dip into the association coffers and pay for them. You can make it in either way around. If you have the finance to pay for them, for that certificates, you can. If you cannot, at the application period, you make it clear to them. Because if you make it open so that many people can benefit, but otherwise you can make it, you can limit it. Meaning that only this number of people, then now first come, first serve. But now if you want to make it open, or even whereas you limit it, and still individual who want to share that benefit, who want to get access to that training and then get the benefit of the training and the certificate, you can make it clear to them that this is the number that we can, as the association, can pay for certificate. But if you want, we can enroll you and then train you.
Thank you.
But for the certificates, you have to pay for it.
Thank you.
Unless otherwise we are able to tap funds somewhere else and then finance the certificate.
Thank
because I remember that was a problem somewhere.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. However, if you happen to become the president of the 16th Executive Council, you will be the overall boss, and your ministers will organize training seminars, and educants will apply in their large numbers. So we have seen under the 15th Executive Council where educants are paying for certificate. Now, under your council, are you going to continue with that, or are you going to provide a means where the educants will not pay for the certificate in 1 minute?
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I believe that I'm a firm believer that when it comes to training, and as far as is concerned, these are trainings which should not be training for the sake of training, but these are trainings which must be based on quality. And when we are talking about quality, not to only not to select any hurry and dig and bring them to serve as a facilitator. So I believe that as someone who have been organizing training, as someone who have been organizing training, even calling provincial people to come to all the way from the provinces to come, providing them with free certificate, free breakfast. Because at the end of the day, leadership has to do with influence. Leadership has to go. You should think critically. You should think beyond your limitation. And this is the only way in which you can able to give quality services to the educants. And I believe that when elected into office with my vibrant education at the side, who is Mariama Salah, we will make sure that no education, irrespective of whatever training it is, the certificates are going to be free of charge. But again, we will have what we call a limitation. Again, because of that, I believe that this is the only training we are going to organize as a council. We will organize series of education. If you cannot have the chance to be trained into this thing, you can also have the chance to be trained into another train. But again, we are not going to only depend on the education coffer, but we will make sure that we use our influence to tap in from other donors to see how best they can able to also sponsor our training. This is something which is very fundamental, and we are not going to levy any charges. In fact, charging president for $50 is something which is too much.
Thank you.
We are all graphic design and we know what is in there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then now it's time for rebuttal. If you have any thing that you want to say before your time turn to ask questions, I'll give you at least 3 minutes, both of you, if you have any rebuttals, because that was a time where I told you that I'm going to give you that time. And then from there, I will also give you another opportunity to ask each other. But this time around, is rebuttal.
Thank you, Prof.
Each other eyes and correct each other right here.
Thank you, Prof. And I believe my fellow Edison, my brother here, who is Bara Jallo, is someone who unfortunately has less clue as far the Edison 2022 Constitution is concerned. Because I listened to him very keenly, where he did mention that I was given an opportunity to serve in the 14-15 as a council member, but after was a little dangerous. But he doesn't understand the constitutional mandate, irrespective of the position I was holding. That is the Deputy Secretary General and also the Vice Presidency. These are positions whose power are very limited. For instance, in this current council, we have Alassane Njai and also Mamadou Sanu Jallo, who happen to be the president and also the secretary general respectively. These individuals, whatever they are deciding, sometimes they don't even involve me, because I will refer back you to the Edison Constitution. Go and read the Constitution as an aspiring president of Edison. If you don't read the Constitution, of course, you will perish, and you have already perished. Go to the Constitution. Go and look into any clauses as far as section 14 of the Edison Constitution is concerned, where I serve as the vice president. Go and look into my function. The first 3 months we assume office, because with the code of conduct we agreed that no individual, no council member should even be affiliated in any political discourse. The first 3 months everything was okay. We were going fine to an extent that the president and we are always in touch. But unfortunately, this politics thing started intruding into the council. The very first person who even abused the code of conduct was the president. He once even stated an SSC dispatch in his status. I went into his day, Mr. President, you have already violated the code of conduct. You know what he responded? I did not even read this, but I just see it like that and forward it on my status. You know, there's something fundamental is wrong. As a vice president, my powers are limited. I went back to the pages and put that into their notice. The SG didn't act. The Auditor General didn't act. Everything slid like that. We go back again. He's talking about the division which SECA is part of. But little did he know that SECA has a limited power as far as these divisions are concerned. I was the one who was championing the Congress. If you see, if my fellow Edison, for a Congress to be held, the executive must act, and it has to go through the office of the president and also the vice president. The office of the Secretary General. When I send my message into the group, dear Secretary General, and I CC the president and I CC the Auditor General, because these are the bodies responsible for it. When I wrote my message, it was almost like 3 paragraphs. Let me know, despite wasting my energy in that paragraph, you know what the AG responded to me? Said, if you want to go and organize Congress, go and organize a Congress. My fellow Edison, what can I do in that? If I want to argue that the author SECA is going against the Constitution, and the Constitution has only limited me not to even act. I get the point. Because I can only act when the president is absent or when the president gives me that mandate. And unfortunately, the president and the SG plus the Auditor General were all working hard in glove to see how best they can able to suppress. And this was the reason why this election is supposed to be held since last year's November. Right now, today is April. Today is my what? What is the date today? We're in the ending of March, but still now we are still talking about this election. So if he's here talking about the cause of the division, then of course you should even vote Barra out, because this person doesn't deserve to even become a class rep in University of becoming talkless of a whole president.
Thank you. Now it's your time for rebuttal.
All right, thank you very much.
3 minutes 47 seconds.
All right,
and I will give you opportunity also to ask each other. So this is the time that you can clear whatever you want to clear.
Okay, thank you very much. And IPRO, I am definitely much embarrassed that this individual here, who is called Ibrahim Seka, is talking about, the Englishman says, give a fool a long rope to hang himself. This man is just a fool. He don't understand the Constitution. If you come to the reading of the Constitution, I read Constitution more than you. I started interacting with these constitutions when probably you don't even know what is the meaning of the Constitution. From starting from SU Constitution right down to Edusa Constitution, there is no section or paragraph that I did not read because I interacted with this. You understand? When it comes to the limitation of power, yes, I understood that for every responsible, for every position, there is a limitation. And I made that statement earlier on, that you cannot go beyond your limitation. But it's also a fundamental responsibility upon him as a vice president position being one of the most crucial positions as far as the council is concerned, because you are the one who is responsible of running the internal affairs of the school. So if you are standing here, sitting down here today and telling us about unity, and that's why whenever I heard you talking of unity, I thought this individual don't even understand what he's doing, because he is obviously exposing himself to the education that I have done nothing during my time. Because if I have done something by today, then we will not talk about unity. We will talk about something else. Something else should have been a benchmark of his campaign policy, but not unity. Someone else should talk about unity. But if you see as the president, that's why you don't understand his role. The president has the responsibility to run external affairs. The vice president has the fundamental constitution of the internal affairs of the association, and which he has failed. This second sitting down here, he went on a geography tour, leave that geography tour, and then went and attended a burial somewhere, and then came down and then went to enforce the IPRO to write that he went and represented the association. You see, when he will have to laugh because he's guilty of anything that I said. Whenever I talk about something that he's guilty, he laugh, because this is how fools behave. You understand? So I understand the Constitution more than you. But whatever I talked about here, that's why for anything that I talked about, for records, and Edusans are listening, and Edusans, for anything that we said here, Edusans understood it more than us, because these are individuals who have been observing us and then assessing us on various areas. You understand? Being here and then being given a fake and abstract issues that are not even realistic, that are unfound, and then try to copy and paste or criticize in the council. a council that you are part of, you are criticizing the council and saying that the council have this, understand, have this, the secretary have this and that is that. It's all just bogus. Because you then it means that you it's like you don't have you are ought not to be even call yourself as the vice president. If you cannot do nothing, you cannot just bang on the constitution and say that yes, I don't do this because the constitution limit me. I don't do this because I was limited. I supposed to do this because no, you cannot do that. You have code of conduct in the council. You have your responsibility. You are voted. If these people want to limit you and you believe in this is an interest of the education, then these people should not stop you. Because Alassane and the Secretary General are not the people who voted you in power. The people who voted you in power are the education. And the educations are bigger and more powerful and more important as far as education conduct. They are more important Alassane as the president and then the Secretary General. Those two people should not stop you if you believe in that you are serving the interests of education.
Thank you.
But it is unfortunate that you want to bang on that to say that it's a constitutional limitation. Alassane said it, SG said it. That is purpose.
Thank you.
It means you don't even understand the constitution.
Thank you so much.
You are just making noise here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now it's time for question and answer. I will give them the opportunity to ask 4 questions and then you have to answer it. So each question will be, I will give you 1 minute to answer the question. So I will start with Honorable Jallo.
Yes.
So any question that you have,
yes,
put it into 4 because I will give you only 4 questions for you to ask. Second, the same thing. Right? So the floor is yours.
Are we going to ask one at a time? Or
you will ask, answer.
Yes.
And then Honorable Seka also asks, you also Honorable Jallo answer.
Yes.
Up to 4 times.
Yes.
Understood. So you will ask, Seka will answer.
Yes.
Seka will ask, you answer.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right.
Let's ask question and answer it 1 minute. This one I'm not going to joke with it. Your answer has to be 1 minute.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Ibrahim Seka, who is shamefully sitting down here, claiming that he did X, Y, or Z, which is an embarrassment as a ruling executive member. Here, Ibrahim Seka, the nationwide tour that we are talking about here, being entirely under your responsibility, can you explain to the education why during the nationwide tour, none of the school in West Coast were visited? No school in West Coast. And if, for records, this could be the first time, such irresponsibility occurred as far as the nationwide tour is concerned. And in North Bank, only one school was visited, that was Farafenni. And then you, as the individual who is solely and wholly responsible for the success of this nationwide tour, can you explain to the education, genuinely, non-fakely, why no school was visited in West Coast? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, in 1 minute, please.
Thank you. Just unfortunate that even raising this question, he has to read question be written for him. That's to tell you that he is just a tool being used by outsiders. But just go straight to the point. Talking about schools not visited within the West Coast region, because you need to understand that, which unfortunately, as someone who have never attended a nationwide tour, this is the reason why you have no knowledge about it. The nationwide tour, the vice president who is happened to become the chairperson of the nationwide tour serve as a supervision to this tour. But again, this doesn't mean that the nationwide tour totally is under his control. The SG has a role to play. The SG, according to the Education Constitution, he is the corresponding body as far as the Education Constitution is concerned. But unfortunately, I talked to the SSG series of time, these letters need to be written and they need to be sent either via physical or via online, which he happened to fail. With myself as the chairperson of the nationwide tour, I have this role. The only thing I can able to do to push him, which if he insists, of course, it's not going to be possible. I think
hold on. When he's answering, I want him to answer as a responsible individual. then what is the essence of you being a vice president? You are only here blaming people. And have limitation of these are look.
Are you interested?
Your time will come, then you can come on.
Thank you.
So allow him to say whatever you want to say. Within a specific, now instead of 1 minute, I'm going to make 2 minutes, and you have 1 minute 25 seconds.
So yeah, the reality is Mr. Barajalo has little knowledge with regard to the Edison's constitution. He did mention that he have read all the chapters in the University of the Constitution, which I believe he knows and I know, is totally a lie. And secondly, he's still talking about reading the Edison's constitution. The matter of the fact is that I say that because you advise the chairperson of this nationwide tour, as I said, powers of the nationwide tours are limited. Again, I am only there to supervise, to make sure that I follow people to do whatever they do. But again, if the SG cannot do this, do I have the power to go and take the pen and write up to the school?
Thank you.
Why do you have power? Again, you are saying that people have to follow the constitution.
Thank you.
So whatever is SECA, right, and citizens of the office, at the end of the day, I know that people like Barra himself are the people who go allegate to the media and do nothing.
Thank you.
Which is the reality.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you mentioned about the NDR.
No, your time is up. Your time is up. Your time is up.
This boy has what he said.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to ask Bara. And you have 2 minutes to answer the question, please.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, while you are answering your question, you don't need to interrupt. But if you are asking your question, you can, say what you want to say.
Just recently, Bara was, I believe he's already confused with regard to the Edison Constitution, or probably you are even thinking about another association constitution, which he said that the vice president, he is the one responsible for the internal affairs of Edison, while the president is responsible for the external affairs of Edison. We all know that in outside other constitution or association, that is the normal norm. But as far as the constitution is concerned, the president is given the supreme power, whether internally or externally. Again, you are saying that I should be respecting the constitution. The same bar, this right man has said that whatever is for the interest of the Edison, because of the Edison who put it in the office, I said also me. And again, he was criticizing me of me visiting the Lord George P. Jata when I was doing my geographical expedition with my class, which I was heading. The same bar said that I overdo things. Me, when we were complaining that was not part of the constitution, that was based on moral. And at the end of the day, that was for the benefit of Odisha. We were there to represent Odisha. But the same Bara said that he already contradicted himself by saying that that was not done at all. I should have consulted the constitution. And the same Bara said that if anything which is for the interest of Odisha, I should be irrespective of what the constitution give to me or whether the president or the executive. That tells you the type of bar. This person you are sitting here has little related to what he said. So, Mr. Bar, can you please explain the inconsistency in your statement? Thank you.
Thank you. 2 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. There is no, first of all, there is no inconsistency.
Of course, there is.
Maybe maybe you are doing what the Englishman says, what the Englishman called malpropisms, the misuse of words in the right context. You don't even understand what is consistency. What I said is very clear. When we come to the Constitution, I read the Constitution, understand the Constitution more than you, Abraham Aseka. Understand it from your fingertips. What I said here is very clear. If you believe in the interest of Edusant, you should not bang all your complaints on the President and the Secretary General. You should not say that the President and the Secretary General limited you to do X, Y, or Z. The President and the Secretary General is not more powerful than the Edusant. Okay. This President and the Secretary General, they are just two individuals.
Okay.
Can you compare those people to the entire School of Education?
Okay.
These people are uncomparable.
Thank you.
So the point I'm talking here is throughout your deliberation, the only thing that you are focusing on is these two people. As in that these two people are the people who voted you in power.
Can you please answer my question?
Listen to me. No, I have already answered your question, meaning that I tell you that there is no inconsistency in my expression. What I said is very clear. For the fact that why I said it, you went on geography tour, and then you divers and then go and attend a burial. Fine, that is at your own interest. It's not at the interest of Edusan.
Why?
You should not. It's not at the interest of Edusan.
Why?
Because you are not sent. Listen to me. You are not sent like you copy and paste that you are doing it on behalf of the executive. You are sent by the executive. No executive member send you there. You are not sent by the executive. If you are sent by the executive, what we understand as a constitutional responsibility, whatever happened is reported to the association, and the executive will take responsibility. Send a representative, and when those representatives are sent for any message that they deliver, if they deliver it on behalf of the entire association, on behalf of the entire education.
Thank you.
But you cannot just get up and do things on your own self, and you want the first education to acknowledge that yes, you did this, and it is a very good service.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to ask your second question, please.
Yes.
Ask your second question. I don't want you to come and summarize, both of you. Yeah. Ask questions, specific question, let the person answer. Right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And as far as education is concerned, there's one thing that is very fundamental, and that is an academic honesty. This man sitting down here called himself Ibrahim Sega. Records has revealed that Ibrahim used examination question and whole tutorial classes, which is called an academic indiscipline and academic dishonesty. And then he is tarnishing seriously the image of EDUSA, because these are things that are up to at the faculty level. I am not for records, for anything that I'm saying here. These are things that are backed by evidence. And of course, even if you make a walk inside School of Education and make an interview with some students, they will tell you straight away that this is happening and this was happening, because these are records that people have with them. So there is the same man here who want to continue to ruin the School of Education. Ibrahim Seka, I have a question for you regarding this examination malpractice that, of course, is not within a closed door. It's a public knowledge. What is influencing you to be doing such examination malpractice that is tarnishing the image of EDUSA?
Thank you. Honorable, you have to answer this question.
Thank you, Prof. And it's just unfortunate that, as I said, as there was a little knowledge is dangerous, more especially when you are misinformed. And the Bara Jallo sitting here, as I said, he has been a remote control. This man sitting here has been pinpointed by individuals. This man sitting here has little knowledge regarding about whatever is going on. As I always say, I've been known as a seasoned tutor as far as the School of Education is concerned. I've been known as one of the only tutor who can only tutor one course, and the class will be filled to it being to an extent that I will have to organize another class. And these were the reasons why more especially the like of Bara, were very uncomfortable with because of what their political influence. Because for them, they believe that whatever Seka is doing, people always answer the call. And whatever tutorial Seka is doing, people will always come on board and attend. And these are things, because of their political lenses, these are things we cover everything. At the end of the day, they are not only seeing the interests which I am doing for the interest of EDUSA, but the interest of my own personal. This is something which I believe is a misconception. Again, whoever knows Seka, you know that Seka, whatever Seka is going into, Seka prepared for it. Whatever Seka is doing, Seka always try to make sure that he gives his 100%. If you see my tutorial being so succinct to an extent that people will be celebrating at the end of the day, people will be texting me, praying for me, to an extent that others will even call me for 30 minutes, see a lot of things, praying for me, even the elderly person. It's because of I believe that whatever services which I am rendering to my fellow Edison has to be a service which has to be genuine, has to be a service which has to be, I should have sacrifice. But unfortunately, he has been using the second being someone who was leaking in the examination. I believe this is very serious. If I happen to go outside here and call the police for Bara Jallo, my friend, my brother, you will not sleep in your room in a very comfortable way. Because this is a serious allegation which I believe people like, but unfortunately, you have little knowledge with regard to what you are doing. Bara as
Let me have the mic.
certain kind of thing like Bara is not about how fluent you can speak English, it's about how sensible, how rational, how reasonable you can become as a leader.
Thank you.
And basically we are doing all this allegation. Imagine electing this person as your president, my fellow citizen.
Thank you.
Of course, this will be worst decision you will ever make in your entire university life. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to ask question, and then you can use that one to answer whatever you want to say. So now it's your time to ask.
Yeah. So thank you, Prof. Yeah. Last year the same. He called me a fool, which I'll accept because of I'm a leader. I'm not someone who will defend in media or whatsoever, but I will always accept. The same Bara, last year he came. He contested under an independent banner. The same Bara, one of his campaign speeches, the only thing he will be talking about, campusing is something which is leading to the division of Edusa. And I was very surprised when I realized that Bara is the same Bara sitting here, who is currently vying for the same position, but again this time, not as an independent candidate, but under the banner of Student Service Council in acronym SSC. You realize that there's a dishonesty, there's an inconsistency, and as the one who say, Mawo Horwet. And this is what Bara is doing. So I want Bara to clarify what is the reason why he has to be so inconsistent to the extent that what he was preaching last year is something which has not been resonating in himself. And we believe that as leaders, we have to be some people, we have to be people who must be consistent in our word. So Bara Jallow, in your honest view, I know that no matter how you fit it further, you always try to have what you are going to lie here. But tell the other side, face the other side, and tell them why then, but now. Thank you.
In 2 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Before moving to the question, I want to bounce back on what he said an allegation. Maybe you don't understand allegations and then something that is on a plain paper record. You mentioned that yes, if you go out there and then you inform the police, then I will not sleep well in my house. I for records, well, all Edusans are listening, and all Edusans know exactly what is happening. For records, if you want, we can move up to the Vice Chancellor office and make this investigation. Both you and the lecturer involved will face an academic punishment. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not an allegation. I am not here to put an allegation on you. For me, anything that I'm going to put here is things that are backed by records. Things are backed by evidence. I am not here to put an allegation on you, but to talk about the factual thing. And besides, you keep saying that I have been used by, nobody is using me. I am an individual who is free and independent to run. Listen to me. No, listen to me. Run independently and speak maturely. I crafted my policies, and for whatever I said here is things that are backed by records.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
If you want, we can launch an investigation. Right now, there's a lecture that we are involved with, which is now not part of even the examination board as a result of that examination malpractice.
Okay.
These are records. And if you want, we can go up to the Vice Chancellor and you will be punished. Perhaps you will not only be suspended, you will be expelled from the university.
Answer the question.
You understand? All right. Now, the question that he's talking about, I am very consistent when it comes to my political philosophy. My political philosophy is unity, inclusiveness, peace, and progress, and that's what SSC called for. So, for anybody who believes in my political philosophy, can work with me, and SSC have been that political camp that is work with my political philosophy. I am not. Listen to me. I am not that individual who will be here today and there tomorrow. You understand? I believe in my political philosophy. When they first approached me for it, I made it clear for records.
Thank you.
No, excuse me, for records. Let me just clear this point here for records.
Okay.
When they first faced me, and then I told them, I made that very clear to them. My political philosophy remained. It is. Because of a camp or because of a group of people coming together will not make me change my political philosophy. Because as far as my observation, as far as my assessment is concerned, under the School of Education, I realized that there are so many disunity and political intolerance. And even during my campaign, I keep singing the same thing. That is my political philosophy.
Thank you.
And that happens to be the same political philosophy.
Thank you.
That's SSC has.
Thank you.
And that's
Now
why we
is your time for you to ask question. We are running out of time. And to remind the viewers, we are watching Edusa Policy Debate 2026. We have the presidential aspirant candidates that are in the building here. So it's time for them to ask each other. This is going to be the third question. And then we have one more question for you. So please ask question and then you stick to the answers, please.
All right, thank you. Okay, before me here is Ibrahim Seka, who is just been so noisy here. And of course, even the people passing by can realize he's very noisy. He is not here even to talk about policy. I think he was screwed that if you go, you know, just be talking whether sense or nonsense, just talk. Yes, it was Bara, but at the end of the day, Bara will not be able to, you know, answer or able to speak to you. When he don't understand, then he's speaking to a different person. Yes, your shouting cannot make me whatever you may think about. Well, Ibrahim, during your deliberation, you made mentions of policies that you want to include the physically challenged individual, create a ministry for them. And you are the same Ibrahim last year who sat before this same fine TV, makes pronouncement of that policy. But it seemed like after the debate, you dropped that policy right down there. Up to today, we haven't seen it in any where you create a ministerial post for the physically challenged individual. Here again, you are making the same false policy because that is what you are known of. To fake things just to get to pass by. Faking policies. Now the question is, and then I want you to listen carefully, why you failed to implement that ministerial post for the physically challenged individual under the School of Education.
Honorable, before you answer this question, is going to be 1 minute. 1 minute, I will stop you and I will take the mic from you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. As they always say, empty barrels always make the loudest noise, which my brother currently is manifesting. But as I said, Barajal sitting here with us, Barajal knows nothing, absolutely nothing concerning about the Edusa's constitution. When I was coming as a vice presidential candidate, I made those promises. When we assume office, we will try to make sure that the PWD's community will be created a ministerial post as far as is concerned. Unfortunately, this thing has to be teamwork. It has to go through the presidency and also through the secretary and the rest of the council members. Unfortunately, the Edusa we know, the council we know, is a council which is totally divided. Again, I serve as a vice president. The constitution has restricted me to able to pass a bill. That was the reason why I had to consult to Mali Camara and he was able to draft a bill. Unfortunately, due to SSC dirty politics, they were able to rubbish that bill to the bill because of what? It doesn't suit their interest. Because they believe that if that bill succeeds, it's the interest of Seka and the person who sponsored that bill. That was the reason.
Thank you.
But please, go back, Barajalo, and read the constitution to help you more. Thank you.
Thank you. It's your turn now to ask Bara. And you have 1 minute to say.
Yeah, when I ask Bara, it's just simple and precise. Record already there. Bara and I serve in the Geography Student Association as executive member. Despite he applied as a president, but he was kicked out because of his incompetence. He is not competent to lead that position. But unfortunately, or fortunately rather, he was at least given a deputy secretary role. And you know that the importance of being a secretary in an association. But the same Bara, I can count for a whole year. Bara doesn't even send a message more than 5 times in the page. And the same Bara, we have to go through evidence. At the end of our term, if you know Geography Association, you know that it's apolitical. It doesn't deal with politics. The same Bara you are sitting here. He was graded as the most disappointed executive member into that council, to an extent that the Auditor General was able to give him unsatisfactory. So you know what that means? Meaning Barajaro was doing absolutely nothing in that. So Bara, imagine being a deputy secretary in the Geography Student Association, which we always brag about. Here's the camera. Tell your fellow Edison, why were you able to be graded into that grades? Why? The reason, let it be tangible and be honest with yourself.
Okay, now bouncing back, before I run into answering these questions, like I always said, because like I always said, he is always using a statement against himself. Like he said, an empty barrel make more noise, and which he is, a very empty barrel and then making question. And anytime I keep repeating this, you are not reading the Constitution and you don't understand the Constitution. Because if you understand the Constitution, then you will understand that the interest of education comes first.
Okay.
Because that's the fundamental principle that the Constitution fosters. At all angles, is the interest of the education at the end of the day. So throughout your deliberation, from the starting to now, all what you do is to put blame on people. Ibrahim, you cannot be voted in position and then you think that your role is to just keep blaming people. I was this, I limited because of X, Y, or Z. When coming down to the Geography Student Association, well, individuals who have rated me whether satisfactory or dissatisfactory, like you claim it to be, which has never, because for anything that you say has to be records. There's no Auditor General who has ever brought any document before me and tell me, Barajallo, this is the record I have made, and this is this or this is what. So for you to be here today and saying that yes, the Auditor General rated me on an unsatisfactory, probably the Auditor General don't understand the history of the GSA. I and Cham and C and Mr. Bayo and Babatunde and Babatunde rather, we were the co-founder of this association. If you see today we are talking of the GSA, it's because of us. So the co-founders of GSA, if you want to criticize, it's not those people.
Thank you.
Because if you see you're talking of it today,
Thank you.
I handed over the IPRC to you.
Thank you.
I served the position diligently.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will hand over it to you.
Your time is up.
You understand? And he made claim that I and him applied for the same position, president, and then he was kicked out.
Thank you.
And that's why when he was kicked out, I gave him the position of IPRC. I tell him, okay, serve the mouthpiece of the IPRC.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now is your turn. Now is your turn, and your final question. From here, you have no way to ask any other question.
Okay.
So this is going to be your final and last question that you are going to ask Seka. And the same thing goes to Seka also. That's going to be your final.
Okay.
Please. So whatever you want to ask, you have the opportunity now.
All right. Anyway, before going, I want to make this clear. Of course, I always say that education is not everything. Since we started here, like him, he is only copying and pasting. The poll that he's talking of at Edusa was provided by Usainu Gambia. The zebra crossing that he's talking about, Usainu Gambia. So all achievements made by other individuals, where he will just go and then offer a camera service, and he will be here seated and saying that I do this and I do that and I do that, which is absolutely a fake life. As a leader, we are expecting you to be very genuine and very, realistic. I'm just glad that Edusans, you are not talking to people who don't know you. Edusans knows you very well, and then they know the kind of person you are.
Now you can ask.
You understand? Okay. Now, as far as concerned, Ibrahim Seka, I wrote this question while you are making your deliberation concerning of issues that are very burning. I documented that here.
You are doing it before you come here. As I say, you are just a stool. So continue with your reading.
Calm down, please. Ask your question.
You can read. Don't worry.
All right. Ibrahim Seka, yes, if you think that I am reading, if you think that this question were given to me, these are things that I have prepared from you. You understand? Ibrahim Seka,
thank you.
Right now, you subscribe into WhatsApp group of courses that you are not doing. Okay. And you are causing so many problems among educants.
Okay.
Why do you always subscribe into WhatsApp group of classes that you are not part of? And you always cause problem.
Okay.
Right now, there is an evidence that a lecturer is using you against students, that they have to send their mark numbers and their names to you. And anybody who fails to do so will not receive his or her mark. And you are not an even closer of being a graduate assistant. You have no responsibility of interfering in student mark. Why do you always interfere and try to mix up individual marks on the School of Education?
Thank you. Bara Jallo. Though I was just trying to be more respectful, but Bara,
The time is going.
Bara, one can say that Bara is a serial, which is just reality. One, the original general video is here, which Bara said that I and him, we apply presidency. If Bara can, and the funny thing is that Bara said he's even fasting. Oh, he's very comfortable life. This is something which I find it very difficult to understand. Seka has never applied for president as far as GSA is concerned. Bara Jallo applied GSA president because for him, he only wanted it. He applied the GSA president with Malang Jai. But because of Malang Jai was more competent than Bara, he was kicked out, as I said. Upon kicking him out, Bara was compensated with an assistant SG. The records are here, I can send this to all pages. The records are here, my fellow listeners. Bara Jallo, the deputy secretary, only satisfied poor participation and minimal involvement. He's here. We have to be honest. One, how can someone, my fellow listeners, this is nonsense. How can someone be kicked out in the presidency applied and the same person want me to become the president? Doesn't even make sense. Again, we now go to, as he said, the episode poll or whatsoever, the zebra crossing. Bara Jallo, just to tell you, all the flaws you are seeing there, this is something which is from my heart and mind. And again, just to sum, because I don't want to be push and pull. I know that his masters have already called to what's him. Usually the number is here, 344-2675. Let me repeat that again. 344-2675. My fellow Edison, take your time, call Useni Gambia and ask him all these questions. This man you are sitting here, he's a pathetic guy. He has been trying to do all sorts of things.
Thank you.
So, Bernard, as you are talking about transparency, accountability, and transparency and accountability, transparency and accountability has to do with honesty. And Bara Jallo, you are here. You have been honest with Edison. Bara Jallo, you are here. You have been lying to Edison. Bara Jallo, you are here.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Leadership should not make it a lie.
Thank you.
Bara Jallo, you just have to be honest with yourself, and Bara Jallo, you must know that you should not fool the Edison here with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to ask your final question, and this is going to be your last question from now. You have no other way to ask any other question.
Thank you.
Ask your question. Don't go left, right.
No, thank you. Prof. As I always say, when you are dealing with people who are calling, people who are propagandists, people who are serialized, you must give them evidences. And this is what I'm just trying to. I know you are sweating at this moment, but just calm down. Well. Barry, you are talking about accountability and honesty, and Barry, you yourself, you are not even honest to yourself. Barry, you yourself, you have been given opportunity to serve. The Barry Jallo you are seeing here, when he was appointed as the IPRO of the University of the Gambia Student Union Electoral Body, the first dispatch Barry even sent into the pages was a dispatch which was very horrible. Barry, you are even here, fasting. He said, I was going to this dispatch. He believed in it, and I was able to do it. So if he's talking about my competence whatsoever, then Barry should be someone who is very dishonest.
Ask your question.
So the question is, Barry, you have been contradicting yourself here. You have been talking a lot, and I'll bring you back to the same judge. You said that my responsibility should be internal, and the president's responsibility should be external. Why in the constitution? We still, I want you to quote the section and the subsection which say that I, Ibrahim Hessek, as the vice president of the current council, I should be the one who should be responsible for the internal affair of Edusa as part of the Edusa Constitution 2022 is concerned. Just a straight answer, no need to flip flop. Answer the direct question.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Before moving down, before answering his questions, the constitutional questions, which I'm very much okay with, I want to make the clarification here. Of course, he been insulting, using all foul words against me. And when you come to honesty, when you come to honesty, you don't compare me and him in terms of honesty. I stand out with honesty, all out. Well, now when it comes to GSA, which he's banking on, I understood that he was fed by those individuals out there. I and Malangai applied, and then they said the GSA presidential position is for the 4th year student, being the high class student, and then I was in my 2nd year. As a result of that, As a result of that, Malangai was given the opportunity because it was not an election. It was just nominate an individual, but it goes through application. I was interviewed by Babatunde, and he also applied for the same position. But I understand that probably because of he was also in his second year. That's why he was not opportune to give him that responsibility. And then moving down to all this bogus that he's talking of here, I of course I have clear evidence about it. So whatever he's saying here is a clear evidence. But moving out clear evidence that he is not a leader of honesty, is not a leader of integrity, is a leader of fake life and then malhandling information and then copy and paste it.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you. Your time is up.
No, let me answer the. Let me get to the question. Let me get to the question.
Okay, now
Let me get to the question.
I'm going to give it 10 seconds. You answer the question, please.
Good. Now, ranging down to his question, he is talking of constitution. Yes, I said it. It's the constitutional responsibility. Now, going down to the constitution, perhaps you will not, like he said, perhaps it is not just a stipulated constitution that you have to do this, but a constitution is, one constitution can give you a power to run and order a responsibility.
Thank you.
It does not. I did not tell you that it is stipulated in the constitution.
Thank you.
You don't understand my statement. You don't understand my expression.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You don't understand constitution as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you both for coming here. And then those who are joining us, you are watching Fine TV live at Farato Studio, and we are bringing you Edusa Policy Debate 2026. We have the presidential candidates that are vying for the presidency under the 16 Executive Council, and I'm your moderator, Seymour Fati, IPRO 15 Executive Council. So that brings us to the end of the program, but I'm going to give each of them 2 minutes to talk to Edusa and convince them why you should vote for them to become the next president of the 16 Executive Council. So you have 2 minutes, honorables, to talk to Edusa and then clear the air so that come 31st March 2026, one of you can become the president of the 16 Executive Council. So I will start with Honorable Jallo. You have 2 minutes to talk to the Edusans, and this is going to be your final remark. So please use it wisely and convince the Edusans why they should vote for you. In 2 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. And now wrapping up to the final point. And like I said, Edusan, this is one of the most crucial decisions in which we are right now. The decisions of making the leader that will serve your interest in the next coming academic year. And I happen to be out as the outstanding candidate who has the most attainable policy that speak the language that Edusans want to hear. If you go through my policy, you can realize that all my policies call for the interest of Edusant. And you come to records, you have seen how I've been serving from primary school touches down, because service is not a new thing to me. Handling responsibilities, serving the interest of students is not an issue on my side. So comes on the day of convention and further listen to our policy. Like I alluded earlier on, all my policies that call for unity, call for accountability and transparency, call for creations of partnership between the associations and then the other organizations outside the school to create that opportunity for all Edusans. Call for empowerment, because that's what I believe in. I believe in empowering. As a leader, you must believe in empowering your people, and that is my philosophy. My political philosophy is empowerment. Empower the people that you are working, create that network, because I do believe that the reason why we elect individual in office is for them to serve as a network, create that network for them to have that opportunities outside borders, to get connected to a department, get connected to institutions so that they can get job. Like I always said, one of the aim and objective of the association is to create job for each graduating student. And like I also said that when I come in office, I am going to engage the faculty office of education to make sure that our best graduating students are being called back into the service of education as a graduate assistant and serve them. Children, I thank you very much, and may God bless you, and may God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now, Honorable, you have 2 minutes to talk to Edison, and this is going to be your final remark. So convince them why they should vote for you to become the next president of the 16th Executive Council. And this is going to be 2 minutes. When it's time, I will stop you.
Yeah, thank you, Edison. Thank you, Prof. And also thank you, my fellow Edison. Uh, this is your presidential candidate, Ibrahim H. Seka. And to talk to you, we know that Edison is currently at a crossroads. We have two options, which is in a turning point. We either choose wisely and we continue to restore the dignity, to restore the pride, and also to restore the glory days of Edison. Or if we want, we can also choose in the other way, since it is democratic, to continue having the current unfortunate things which are happening in this current council, and this is something which I believe my fellow Edison, the genuine Edisons, don't want to at least continue it with. My fellow Edisons, as I said, we are in a turning point, a crossroads, where we must elect leaders who are responsive, leaders who are honest to themselves, leaders who are patriotic, leaders who are available, and leaders who have been there for you, making series of impact, not only holding the office, but also making something which become positive as far the school education is concerned. My fellow Edisons, we have series of policies. As I mentioned some of them, the unification of Edison, this is something which is very fundamental. As we know, for any divided association is an association which cannot move, and which Edison is not an exception, which we must try and prioritize. My fellow Edisons, we are here to make sure that how best we can able to consolidate the existing partnership and also initiate partner with other relevant stakeholders to make sure that we prioritize Edison. And again, one of the most important things to make sure that how best we can able to expand the scholarship issues with our fellow Edison to make sure that how best we can able to partner with relevant authorities to see how best we can able to support the Edisons who are finding it very difficult and challenging to pursue their educational goal as far as the University of the Gambia is concerned. I thank you all. Come on April March 31st. Vote for Team Renaissance. Vote for SECA for a prosperous Edison, and I believe we can able to restore Edison and also restore the dignity of Edison and restore the glory days of Edison as far Edison is concerned. Edison first, Edison first, Edison first. I thank you all.
Thank you so much. That brought us to the end of the policy debate. We have the presidential aspirant candidates that are vying for the position of 16 Executive Council. They want to be the custodians of the Constitution and the head of the council. As I said at the beginning, the council is as good as its leader. So Edisons, now you heard from both the candidates. They said their policies and program. Now the ball is in your court to decide among these two gentlemen that is going to be your next president under the 16th Executive Council. So come on the 31st March 2026, go and vote for the right candidates so that we can have the best council. I don't have the power. They don't have their power to put themselves there. But you, the Edisons, have that power and the mandate by the Constitution to select wisely. And then you also have the right to scrutinize their policies, their programs. So if you miss any policies during the day of the convention, they will give them the ample time once again to talk to the Edisons, convince them, and then now you have the final say to decide among these two gentlemen who is going to be the president. So on that note, I thank the 15th Executive Council from the president down to the last man and all the university students that are watching and that are coming to watch this. And I also take this opportunity and thank the CEO of Fine TV. Without him, these policy debates will never take place in the first place. So I will take this opportunity and thank you. Big shout out to the CEO of Kekuta. And then we are grateful, the Edisons are grateful. So now the Edisons were all what you can do, and he did this absolutely free of charge. So what we can do for him is to go and subscribe and also follow the channel so that he can become one of the best educative TV station in the Gambia. So I am your moderator, Selmat Fati. Information and Communication Minister 15 executive comes to, it has been a heated debate. The house is on fire. ACs are on, the fire is on, but you can see they are sweating, and that's why I know being a presidential candidate and to occupy that position is never easy, and from the president himself mouth, it's never easy like that. But I believe in the president word. It's never easy to become a president, and there is no window, but you have to pass through the door. So there is no back way until you become a president of the Edusa. So Edusan, come 31st March 2026, vote for the right candidate. Don't vote based on camp, but vote for someone who is going to represent us well. So I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, let's take picture. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Take a picture.